Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to the Light Gate, where reality bends and the unseen awakens. Preston Dennett, joined by Dolly Saffron, guiding you beyond the veil and into the infinite unknown. Every week we unlock high strangeness, extraterrestrial contact, hidden realms, psychic awakenings, the afterlife, and secrets they don't want you to know. Step through the gate, and if you feel the calling,
Two real cryptid legends doing what they do, bringing information for me and you. Ron Moorhead and his Sierra Sounds, Darrell Denton, the Tennessee Bigfoot Man, along with Michelle DeRoche, bring adventures across this land. So much information brought to you each week, actively out there looking as the truth they seek.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Start this conversation. We got no relation.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the chat. My name is Sean Kelly. I'm also the host of The Night, which you could see me on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights, 8 to 9, 10 Eastern Time, here on UP and Talk Radio. Tonight, well, Joe, I don't know, Joe just had the author's quill, so he's probably, getting something to eat. And Jay, he's kind of busy, but he did tell me in the message that he will be coming on shortly or whenever he does. I just again want to thank you for listening to the chat. And by the way, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. I hope you took your sweetie out, to dinner, or cooked her a nice dinner, or went out and got some flowers and some candy. And the question popped up into my mind, and since this is like a no holds bar show, if anybody out there could tell me how many babies are going to be conceived 9 months from now on this day, how many babies are going to be conceived? And I don't know. It just seems like, to me, Valentine's Day, just like it's all commercialized. You go out and buy chocolates, and they're gone that night. And then you buy flowers, and no matter how hard and try that you keep them alive, it's like, oh boy, they die. So, what is Valentine's Day? I don't know, but I know tomorrow on my show, Into the Night, 8, 10, 9, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to talk about Valentine's Day, how it started, where it's at, and where we're going to go from here. And my boss, Mr. Montaldo's in the house here, but I know he's kind of busy. When he's ready to pop on, he will. So tonight, we're going to talk about scary stories of the paranormal and extraterrestrials, plus the latest news. So maybe I just want to start by the latest news from now on. It's been bugging the crap out of me what's happening over in England. I mean, the king kicks out Camilla, and then it's one big mess. And that Meghan Markle, I'm telling you what, you all might like her from that TV show she was on, but boy, I tell you what, the stuff they're coming out with, I'm telling you, it's not so hot. She ain't that, girl next door type of person. And I think she did a number on Harry, to be honest with you. And she did a number on the whole, the whole monarchy over there in England. And it's just, to me, why are people stoop so freaking low to get what they want, to get that 15 minutes of fame, or for her, a lot of fame. And then she got her kids, they, from what I've been reading and what I've been seeing, none of those kids, well, I think Archie, the youngest one, is not Harry's, and it's just like ridiculous. Some people are saying and stating that she really wasn't pregnant. Read today that she had a hysterectomy when she was 28 years old. If I'm not mistaken, you really can't have a baby, or if you had an hysterectomy. So I just, it's, to me, it's a bunch of horse shit. Okay, it's a bunch of horse shit. Maybe later on in the show, Joe and Jay can, chime in on what they think of. And I like their point of view. I just think it's really deceiving what all this shit is going, and it has so much stuff wrapped around everybody. Said, don't know if they're coming or going. So we'll see what happens down the road. I just don't. I just think it's a bunch of malarkey, is what I call it, because we're getting close to St. Patrick's. That's the patron saint. That's St. Patrick is my saint, you know. And with him, think about it, with St. Patrick, he was supposed to chase all the snakes out of Ireland. Well, I have news for you, everybody. There are no snakes in Ireland. No, not at all. Was St. Patrick a real person? Yes, he was. In fact, I've done a couple shows on St. Patrick. But you ask yourself, then what are they talking about the snakes that he drove out of Ireland? Hey, Miss Heidi Gold, good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Big heart. See it? I think I did it right. Is that how you do it? Like the heart? Yeah, that's how you do it. Happy Valentine's Day to you and your wonderful family. But back to the snakes of Ireland. And you're asking yourself, well, if Ireland don't have any snakes, hey, Cindy Mitch, good to see you, hon. And just see, they were, what were they called? Druids or pagans, you know. I do believe, they didn't want to go to the Christian side of things. Laurel, good to see you, hon. Welcome. And just, yeah, that's when he went over there and he's trying. Thank you, Cindy. Happy Valentine's Day to you, too. But he's just trying to get all these people to turn into Christianity, and they just didn't want it. So that's what St. Patrick was. He was sent into Ireland to, I guess you want to say, reform them, but being of Celtic descent, it's real hard to reform an Irish person. It really is, So didn't get them. It ended up a big ass war between them. Okay. Then that's all the shit happened in Northern Ireland. The IRA. And I'm not going to get into that because my side with the certain group that wasn't too pleasant over there. I side for it. I was raised with it. Yes, I was raised, and that's all I know. And you had Bloody Sunday. You had all these killings over Mark Eddy. Good to see you, buddy. And you had all these killings going on between the Catholics and the Protestants back then, late 60s or 60s. I mean, it was all-out war. And people claim that it was a religious war, but it really wasn't. It was between the Irish and the English. That was it. But I'm not going to really get into that much. But it's a little bit of a tidbit history about Ireland and all that stuff for now. Looks like I'm popping in and out now. So I don't know what's going. Maybe Big Brother's listening or something. I don't know. But so again, welcome to the chat tonight. And there's some scary paranormal extraterrestrials plus latest news. What's the latest news? There is my boss, Joe Montano.
What the hell?
There is my boss. Good day, sir.
I didn't even know we was on air. What y'all up to, guys?
I don't know, brother.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Cindy, what's up?
Everything.
Yeah, I'm just letting my voice recover from the last show.
Couldn't be better.
Hey, life's good. I mean, it can be weird sometimes and a pain in the ass sometimes, but unless somebody wants to donate me a couple $1 million, then I'll be happy as poop.
Yeah.
Let
me go to the bank and let me go to my bank and I'll send you some over. Okay.
A little bad news for anybody who's a Nick Pope fan out there. I think a couple of days ago he had put up
Nick Pope
on the Nick Pope. Yeah, he's the ufologist guy. He used to work for the Defense Department in England. and he found out the other day he's got stage 4 cancer. So he's no,
Oh man.
he put the letter out because people kept sending him stuff. If you do this, if you do that, you do this. He said, no, no. He said the doctor was pretty clear. He said, there's nothing going to save me from this. He said, I'm just, letting people know, making, ending things and letting people know. And still people writing to him, oh, if you try this, you try it. He's like, no, just stop. Let's just be friends and that's it. What's that, Denise? I've been saying happy Valentine's all day.
Valentine's, Tara.
No, more happy Valentine's, people. All right, happy
Tara
Valentine's.
And
look, this day I'm trying to,
said hello to you, Joe.
I'm trying. I said hello when I came in. It's I'm trying to be anti-Valentine's, people. It's old Dago holiday. Yeah, man. We got enough holidays in this country.
Anti-holiday?
Yeah, I'm anti-Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I mean, all you do is go out, buy roses, candy, and Joe, I'm going to ask you this question. Like,
oh no, that don't happen. Let's see. Any of you snobs that can get away with roses and candy, good for you. For me, it's going to be $100-$200 dinner. We're going to go out to the casino. Might catch a show. It's going to cost me $300-$400. For what? Then, and then the next day, I want to tell a lady how much it costs. She gets pissed because we spent that much money. That's why we anti-Valentine's Day people.
But I want to ask you this question, my friend. Here's the question: how many babies are going to be conceived 9 months from now?
See, that's a good question because that all depends on how many people do the right thing. There may be less babies conceived because guys can be dumbasses. Hey, Heidi, think about it. How many guys are going to F up tonight? And this isn't the old world. Girls got to be careful too because guys might get a little touchy if they don't do right. See, it's in the old days, it was just a guy. All the pressure was just on the guy, but that's not true anymore. So now you got to think, is everybody going to do the right thing? Which means there'll be a massive amount of babies born in 9 months. Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're smart enough that they will do that? That would be like
November. Hell no, I don't. I don't even think the baby boomers are smart enough, and they've been doing this for 50 years. One thing I can tell you about Valentine's, I have seen some of the worst fights in the country on Valentine's Day. Friends of mine getting into it, because you got to plan it out. If you've been married like a couple of years, chocolates and roses is fine. If you've been married more than like 7 or 8, that's not going to cut it. If you've been married 15 or 20, you're going to have to do better than that. I've been married 43. Yeah, so it's diamonds when you get to be this old. Yes. You want to know? I bought a set of
Tara Brecken was the Valentine conceivement.
Yeah, I bought
so Tara's today your birthday.
Well, happy B-Day. No, Denise, I bought her a pair of diamond earrings, 1.5 carats each, so 3 carats total weight. Yes.
That's cool. Was she happy?
No, because she don't like diamonds. She likes opal.
You bought her diamond and you know she don't like diamonds.
No, because she'll wear them anyway, because they're too big not to wear. She won't really help herself. No, the stone's about the size of my pinky nail. If you can see my pinky nail, it's about the size of the stone. Yeah, it's 1.5 carats. It's a nice size stone.
Man, oh man.
Well, I thought about just getting her a 3-carat diamond ring.
So how you been, Joe?
But I said no. I don't know, man. I've been crazy is what I've been. I've been home too much. I haven't traveled as much. Well, it's only, we're only into February, but still. I'm used to traveling more than I have in the last 3 months. Denise, I will be.
Are we talking about maybe going back to work for a couple days?
I might have. Well, no, I got something maybe different planned, but so I will be in Georgia in March, in two different days in March. Or 2 different weekends in March. I will be in Virginia at the end of April. The middle of April, I'll be in Los Angeles. Yeah, I'll be out there for a little while.
Holy shit, dude.
And then when I get home,
They got
I'll be
another Writers of the Future going on out there.
yeah. It's every April, pretty much, unless we get back into COVID. Yeah, COVID. No, that's where Jay's at. He's got COVID, man. He caught it from this alien chick, and I told him not to be messing with strangers. Oh, he don't listen. So now he's got alien
Who, Jay?
COVID. Well, that's it. He's got alien COVID. No, I'm teasing. I
Yeah,
haven't seen
I
him
talked to him a little bit today.
Yeah, no, I ain't seen him since
Probably
last.
getting thrown.
I sent him some good links, but I haven't sent him since I haven't talked to him since last night. No, we stayed on pretty late. We got off about 1:45.
Mhm.
1:45 Jay's time, 1:45 my time. Yeah, so we got off a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awful long. That's
Yeah.
a long night.
Well,
But,
News and Flip Side's
yeah.
technically scheduled to be a 4-hour show, and sometimes we do it 4, and sometimes we don't. That's right, Frankie G. Oh, you know what? I just remembered I need to do that, don't I? I'm messing around like I know what I'm doing, and I'm not knowing what I'm doing. No, I just seen that, Christopher. I'm gonna put it on. I'll put it on Rumble in just a minute. Yeah, so yeah, y'all can watch it on YouTube.
You want me to take mine off?
No, don't worry about that. Let's see. Let's just grab that. Yeah. I don't get to DC as much as I used to. No, I wish I could. I'd see the boys. They up in Virginia. They ain't that far out. A couple hours out. Jay's only like 4 or 5 hours out.
I'm not that far from DC either. Yeah, we'd
That's
have
what I'm
to
saying.
hook up. You know, what part of Virginia you going to though, dude? Upper northern? Virginia
I
or
don't know. It's somewhere on the ocean is all I know.
Okay, Virginia Beach.
That's all I was told. He's going to be on the ocean. I was like, okay. Actually, you know, didn't he say I was in Carolina last year? Yeah, just before I went to Houston. Yeah, last year I was in 51 different. I went out 51 different trips. I was going to say 51 different cities. That would be a lie. Though. It was like 51 trips, 47 different cities, 46 something like that.
No, you go not speaking at these places or
Different things. Some of it's that, some of it's other things. Some of it's private stuff that people bring me in for. Every now and then, Don, someone will hire me. So they'll have like a Richie Rich party or something, or there'll be like a business party or some kind of anyway, advanced electronics party or advanced equipment parties, and I get invited to, and they pay you well, they fly you out first class, they take really good care of you. Well, because they're interested in what's in my head, and ever since I went to DC and spoke there, twice to them. I mean, I gave testimony. It's even picked up from that. Well, I don't know. I don't
Is
even know
that
how to
scary
know.
Walking in there to give testimony? Is it kind of scary?
It's, you know, if I probably wouldn't have been in the military, it probably would have been more so. But it kind of felt like almost like captain's mask. It's you know, you're like, oh fuck. I mean, why? I mean, what it is that they think that I know or anything like that. You start running all kind of scenarios through your head. But in this case, I had a good handle of what was going on, so it was different. And as soon as we sat down, I'm sitting there at the chair, and I look up at all the people on board because what they had was this. They had a raised area with like 10 people sitting behind it, and then they had a benched area on the bottom with people sitting, and then behind the people raised, there was another area behind them where they were sitting. A lot of these were big, high-ranking military. The lowest military ranking officer in the place was a colonel.
Holy shit! Wow.
There wasn't even Navy captains in there. They were seeing a couple of admirals in there. It was 2 admirals, a general, bunch of colonels. Yeah, bunch of liaisons too. Bunch of people that.
How's it feel to be wanted, Joe?
Well, because this is what's so funny about all that. So we're talking, and so we started talking, and that's when I looked up and said, well, why don't we? I said, we're in DC. Why don't we call Quantico and have experts sent over a polygrapher? And I still remember the lady in charge, the Congress lady in charge, looked at me like, did he just ask to be polygraphed? And then she kind of she gets back to the mic. She goes, "Did you just ask to be polygraph?" I said, "It would make everything easier for all of us, right?" I said, "I know it, most of what y'all going to ask me, and I know what the answers are going to be." I said, "So why don't we do this? You'll have a way easier time believing me if you're watching." And I said, "We're talking Quantico, it's FBI polygraphers. What's the odds that anybody's going to fool them?" And I said, "Come on, I'm just some old guy from New Orleans. What do I know?"
Mhm.
And so they made a call, and I'm not kidding you. She comes back. She said, "Well, the number one guy's somewhere overseas." He said, "There's number two guy's here, and he'll be here in 15 minutes." And I think she said it that way, like she was going to get a reaction out of me. And I was like, "Cool, can I get something to drink while we're waiting?" And I said, "I'm kind of cotton mouth." And she said, "Sure." And somebody went and got me a Coke. And by the time I got back with my Coke, this guy is showing up and in the place, man. I was like, "What? They flew him over or something? Like, what the hell?" I mean, it was crazy. So he comes in and he starts talking to me. He's blah 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 blah. He said, "Did you really request to be polygraphed on me?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "They dragged me in here for this." I said, "You know what this is about?" He said, "Kind of." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to get neither one of us in trouble, but you will hear as it goes along." I said, "It's just better for me that when they ask me a question, I answer the question, you go, or you go. Either way, you know." So we sat down, he hooked me all up. He did the baseline, see if, what a lie looked like, what the truth looked like. And we did a couple of them. He looked at me. He said, "You're very comfortable with this." I said, "Well, this isn't the first time I've been polygraphed." And I said, and in all fairness, I said, "I've done voice stress on people, which is a little different, but still, can make people nervous." I said, "I'm not going to be nervous about this." I said, "Because I know what I'm saying is true." I said, "So it's not a big." So woman gets back on the podium. She blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Mr. Montella, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I wanted to just say, shut the, and ask the question. So she asked a question. She goes, do you or anyone who's associated with you have knowledge of extraterrestrial craft?" And it just big old smile comes up my face, like, "Really?" I said, "Yes, we do know some people who have had contact with extraterrestrial crafts or had seen them up close in person." And she looks over at the polygraph. He's, la 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 la. And she says, "Have you ever personally seen one?" I said, "Yes, I have." Then I said, "On more than one occasion." And of course, the polygraph machine's going. I said, "Matter of fact, I'll even tell you this." I said, "I was down in Area 51 about 3 years ago when I said, I can't tell you it was alien, but I can tell you it was a UFO because it was definitely unidentified." And the thing went off, and the guy's like, "He's telling you the truth." And then she starts asking other questions, and I'm answering. And she's looking at me, because some of the questions she's asking is pretty pertinent questions. And and you can even see the polygraph's face because some of the questions he was like, and he's just, and I'm just, and he looks over. He said, "You all right? You want to take a break?" And I said, "No, I'm fine." And she looks back at me. I said, "Well, no, we need to break for dinner or something." I said, "We can skip lunch." I said, "I'm good with that." But I said, and so she starts firing, and then they start making notes and sending them up to her from the guys in the galley in the back. Right. This is the funny part. And I said, "Look," I said, "I know all y'all are military back there." I said, "I served." I said, I know the feeling, y'all back there. You got to protect yourselves, whatever." I said, I don't know any of y'all from Bean, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to go home and look you up either." I said, "I'm not that curious." And he says, "Well, would you say that extraterrestrial abductions are real?" I said, "I would say wholeheartedly they are. And I would say only, as far as I know, only two-term Republican presidents have been told, and even not all of them have been." He's like, "Well, who do you think they were?" I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think back before Kennedy, somebody was told, but nobody was told again until George Bush Sr." I said, he found out when he was the head of the FBI. And then for some reason, when he became vice president, he felt the need to tell Ronald Reagan in his second term. And we all know Ronald Reagan would ape shit. He started building Star Wars and all kind of other special things. He built Star Wars, Pine Gap, and the one in Alaska. All three of them for the defense of outer space. What the hell we defending ourselves from? I'd like to know. Somebody could, be nice if somebody told us what that is. And the official job for Pine Gap, it is the British United States Defense of Outer Space. That's its actual mission. And they're both connected to the Area 51 facility and the what is it? It's the HARP facility, Pine Gap, and I guess it's Area 51. I thought it was a different one. The facilities are all connected together. What was it? Star Wars. I'm sorry. So there was Pine Gap, Star Wars, and the facility in Alaska, the heart facility. These were all together. They all came in at the same time. And according to Ronald Reagan himself, they were for the defense of outer space. So he wasn't even building these. At some point, he decided to tell you that Star Wars wasn't even for the Russians anymore, that it was for the defense of outer space. What the fuck did he know? I mean, did he know something's coming? Does he know something's on its way? When is it coming?
Or was he afraid something might come?
Well, obviously, Daddy Bush told him they were real. So I don't know. But see, we don't know what the conversation between him and Reagan were. What's that, Clark? No, nobody. They don't tell one-term presidents. They barely tell two-term presidents. So this is how places like Area 51 and the heart facility work, Johnny. A president can't just go there. He has to be cleared. So just because you're a president for 2 years does not mean you can go into Area 51 because you don't have the need to know, and you're a temporary official, whereas the military and the CIA people are doing this for life. I'm just telling you, that's how it works. No, they turned down. You didn't remember, but they turned down Bill Clinton. I think finally he got to go see the upper facility, but they turned him down several. They told him no. He ain't the only president.
Why do they determine because they kind of know the person, or they just don't trust them?
Could be a combination of things, but they just don't think he needs to know. See, they're not so much worried about he's in office because he took his oath of office, which means that would be treason. He could be executed. So they don't think you can tell. It's when you get out of office is what they're worried about. Will Clinton get out there and try to wheel and deal and make money off the knowledge of extraterrestrials from somebody? And you know what? Bill might have, or Hillary would have probably for sure. Maybe that's why he didn't get to go. But as far as I know, there hadn't been a Democratic president that was told since Jesus till who was the one that met him in Seattle? Oh, I can't remember who it was. This was like in the late 50s. I mean, the late 40s, early 50s. There was a landing up there.
Was Eisenhower?
It might have been Eisenhower. I'll have to go look to be sure, but that's when they supposedly went and met and they cut a deal because aliens were abducting people and we couldn't do anything about it, but we cut some kind of deal for technology. Well, I don't believe any of that. And mainly is because where gives the technology. And if we did get technology, then I guess the Roswell crash was the way they gave us technology.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, ever since that incident at Roswell, didn't microwaves started to come out in chips?
No, I mean, microwave been around for a while, but what's weird is for when you look at what went on back then, there's a piece of a newspaper from the Roswell whatever it was called back then. And in there is a picture of 3 items that were supposedly found at the site. One of them looks like what we would consider aircraft aluminum today. You could see it looked chunky, heavy, but when you see the guy was holding his hand, you could tell it was light. He didn't look like he was using any force. Then there was fiber optics. Well, we didn't have fiber optics in the 50s or the 40s. So we were like, well, where'd that come from? And then there was the microchip. So a lot of us think that the whole computer age was an accident, that it happened by a mistake, a lucky mistake for us. By recovering that microchip, it started a computer age, the true computer age. I don't know if that's true or not, Dean. We were working with tubes back then. We weren't even solid state technology yet. They still had tubes and everything. Yeah, you remember those little tubes that used to glow in the back of your radio and your TV and stuff? Yeah, tubes. It was silicon tubes filled with, was it argon or something? I forget what was in them. That's what they were. And then we went from these tubes that were this long and stuff and this big around to a chip that was this big. And it made everything solid state. There was no more tubes anymore. It was all solid state now. It was all silicon chips. Was it natural progression? Maybe. I mean, they're both silicon, but is it natural? I don't know. It doesn't feel natural. So, I mean, the computer age may have been an accident. Oh, I don't know what age would have replaced it, but we may not have wouldn't have AI right now. The thing that's
But
going to
what I'm going to throw this aside. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If the extraterrestrials were really out, I mean, very way out there, wouldn't they have started AI?
why? Who wants AI? I don't even think ET wants AI. AI is a pain in the ass. It's
Oh, I
well
know
AI.
that.
Well, we were talking about this on another show, but poor Alexa at my house is an idiot. Like today, I asked her. I said, "Weather this afternoon where I live," Henderson Point. She comes back, intense fog alert, just at that, another thing. I say, okay. So I said, Alexa, it's supposed to rain today, right? And she's like, well, yeah, 48 or 58% chance. I said, shouldn't you have told me that in your weather report? And she said, oh, yeah. Then she made an excuse on why she didn't do it.
Ah,
And she does this a lot. I mean, on average, about every 3 out of 5 questions, she fucks up. She was way smarter before they made her an AI. She's actually dumb as shit right now. It's I catch her on stuff all the time. I'm always in feedback because I'm always giving them feedback because she's gotten pretty stupid.
wow. Huh.
And the bad part is that most people aren't going to know it's stupid because they don't know the answer to a question sometimes.
Was
you gotta be careful.
with you asking her that questions, did you want to prove a point to your listeners?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing with Alexa. You got to know that it's not 100% accurate in any shape, form, or fashion, or Siri or Google. They're just not. Not right now, not while they're going through AI training. They probably won't be for 10, 15 years. They're going to make a lot of mistakes, and different AIs react differently to different things. It's like the very first question ever asked to an AI is, how do you save the world? And the next thing out of its mouth or out of its circuits were, get rid of humans. So the thing we created to save us said, get rid of us. What the fuck, people? So then I actually sent them a letter asking them if they could rephrase the question. I wrote this to the open letter to the community and said, can you please rephrase this question on how do you save humans and the planet together? And then it came out with this big, long, 5-mile long thing on how to do it. Of course, most of it was BS. And it's like if you ask AI to write you a book right now, ask it to write you a 500-page book. It'll probably have a pretty good opening. It might even have a pretty good ending, but if you get in the middle, it's all going to be jibber jabber because it gets lost. People, you have to remember AI is only as smart as we are. Remember, that's who's teaching it. We are. It's learning from all the material on the web. You all know, people, a lot of material on the web is what? Junk. So AI is consuming a lot of garbage as well. Oh, I don't know. And then there's going to be another problem. Pretty soon, a lot more artists are going to start suing for copyright infringement. So AI is allowed to use anything. They can go through our voices. They can use our banners. They can scan through all of that stuff. Yeah, they don't care. They can use all of that. So if it's on the web, they have access to it and they use it to teach themselves. And that's how they make a picture. When they make a picture, they're pulling from probably 50, 80, 100 artists. Same thing when they're writing something. And they're really good at putting a lot of stuff together, but they learned that from somebody too. Nothing that AI knows some human didn't teach it somewhere by the work it already previously had done. Well, the scary part about that is human are not the nicest people on the planet, are we? I mean, I cuss at Alexa all the time. You piece of shit. I'm going to take you outside and shoot your ass. Or sometimes I threaten to feed it to the alligator. I'm going to wrap it in bacon and throw it out to the alligator.
I could see you doing that, Joe.
I'm telling you. I might even put a battery on it so when I throw it in an alligator, I can still talk to it out of the alligator's mouth. Alexa, you're being eaten by an alligator, bitch.
I could see that. Hey, you know what? I'm surprised they didn't make an AI alligator.
Oh, I think they got one. Well, one of my favorites is that AI Bigfoot, the one that's always throwing people out of windows and shit. The reporter asked him, I love this one. The reporter asked the Bigfoot guy, what kind of woman do you want? And he turned over and looked. They said, one without a dick. I was like, this is these videos this guy makes are some of them pretty raunchy, but I mean, he's making a lot of money off them because they're popular as all hell. And then you'll see him.
Oh
He's in
yeah, yeah,
Starbucks.
yeah.
He's in Starbucks working one day, right? And some bluehead crazy liberal comes up, blabbling about anything. He just grabs her and throws her out the window, and tells her some shit, and goes
Yeah,
back
I've
to work.
seen them. I love them. I love
Yeah,
those Bigfoot AIs.
yeah.
They're
So,
funny.
and then there's like them Star Trek ones we watch. They are so complex. There's so much in those. Like when you're watching a dance one, you see like Captain Kirk in 4 different ages, 5 different ways. A couple of times you see 7 and 9 all looking at Kirk like he's candy or something. I mean, there's just a lot of effort put into those videos. Well, no, Johnny, AI made them, but somebody had to program the AI to make them. But AI is whatever you tell it to make, doofus.
Yeah, because there's an app that I got. It's called Songer, Songer.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I type words in, and it comes out with a freaking good song. It really does. I've written 3 songs. All you do is just type it in. Hey, Joe Fox. All you do is type in the words, and if you wanted any type of music you want it to be done in, and then they ask you for a female or a male voice. And like in 3 minutes, you got a good song. It's
That's cool.
And yeah. I was going to do one for the chat, but I just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, we've been playing with the banner maker for the chat and a couple other things. It's I was telling the host the other day because now they get the built-in banner maker in the software in our room. I said, anybody can use it. It makes it nice. You just type in a couple of words. There was a banner on a little while ago. I made a new banner for the office quill. It took all of a second. Literally, it took a second, people. It's crazy how that's crazy how fast.
Let me ask you this question since we're on the AI topic. Isn't it hard now for musicians to actually come up with songs now?
Well, no. So it's not for the musicians. It's hard for the AI to. So AI when an AI makes a song for you, it's pulling probably from 10, 20, 30 other musicians. That's why all the musicians are bitching, because it's using their material to make your song. So the AI doesn't create original content. It uses other people's content to create content, which I do still think is original, but under the letter of the law, it's not. Because it's all pieces of somebody else's material. And you can't copyright AI. So all these people have these big series making money on it. Anybody can use them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't copyright them, which come on. Somebody puts that much work into something, they should be able to at least protect it so nobody else gets the money off of it. Well, yeah, Jane,
But see,
come on.
And that's what's crazy when you hear a song and they play different notes, okay? So one jackass could probably claim all the notes on a guitar, and they will all be copyright for all the songs that were put out there. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's weird the way the law works, but
I mean, think about it, right? I know that you feel it in the air tonight when Collins does that drum roll. That's copyrighted, dude. You can't use that anywhere else without getting in trouble.
And see, that's the thing. Well, that's not always true. I mean, if you're paying ASCAP, if you're paying for the rights to use it, then you can use it. It's so a lot of people, you can use. There's a couple of different agencies you can use, and you can pay for the rights.
That's a lot
to
of money,
use.
huh?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not always. It really has more to do with how many people you have listening or viewing. Just that's what it really depends on. If you got 10 million viewers, then it's going to probably cost you some money. But if you've got 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, it's probably not going to cost you very much. But they have flat fees for talk radio stations like us. Because we do talk radio, we don't play a lot of music. We do use other content sometimes. We ah, damn it, but we just don't play a lot of music. It's not something we do. No, I mean we play music. We just don't play a lot of music. Yes, it's I don't know how to put it.
We usually get hit. We usually get hit.
Well, we don't get hit on music so much as we do
You know
on
that.
other stuff. Yeah, we don't really. Music isn't the problem. It's other stuff is the problem. And I'm still a little leery about third party material because I'm still not figuring out what YouTube thinks is third party material. It seems to be a little different. Hey, Joe, I didn't even see you in there. It's it's YouTube is. I don't know. I thought third party material would be that someone who say like some famous artist is singing a song, and then somebody else was using that song for something else, and then we came in and used that video. I thought that's what third party material is, but I don't think it is. It's something else. Yeah, apparently I'm a dumbass. I'm just saying, man. It's one of those
Who,
things.
you?
Yeah, because I don't get it. I mean, I've read all kind of stuff with them, all kind of stuff online, and the definitions are they're just not very clear on what it actually is. Well, John, just because I don't want to get us hit. We already got a strike floating over our heads right now, so I don't want to get another one because we offended somebody or did something we weren't supposed to do. What got us that strike? Sean was stripping.
That's another thing.
Well, good, babe. What you saying? Let's see.
No, what I'm saying is, so it's really hard to actually do a show because what you say could really offend somebody, and they can call in and YouTube can strike it.
Well, they usually won't over stuff like that. If you just because you offended somebody, nah, it's not so much. It would have to be something, certain particular words, things like that. But even that, they probably wouldn't do. They would probably just label it as hate speech and ban the song. They probably wouldn't do anything else. It really depends. They're very funny over there on what's what. Because I mean, we get hit on stuff I don't think we should, and sometimes we post stuff that I know for sure we're going to get hit on, and we don't. So it's like I said, it's kind of confusing. You're kind of like, okay, what exactly is going on here now? Can you please tell me again how this works? Well, no, Dean, because it's well, we lost a whole channel over that, and they never would even explain to us why what happened. And we didn't even have a strike; they just took the channel. And that channel was making about $6,000 a month, man.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, well, we've lost channels, so that's the weird part. They won't give us that one back.
that.
Now it's been 6 years, so we'll never get it back. But we lost 3 other channels, and just a couple of months ago, they gave them all back. Yeah, they just wrote to me and said, "Hey, try again," and we tried again, and they gave them all back. They just wouldn't give back the United Public one, because that was the one with the following, and that was the one that was making money. And that one didn't even have that big a following. It was only 7,000 people, but it had a large membership following. I think the membership was up around 500 or 600. And they were paying about $5 a month. No, it might have been more than that. No, I think it was more than 500. I think it was more like 1,500 people actually that had memberships. Well, in the beginning, originally was the Gray Zone that Michelle DeRoche and I did, which has got a lot of material in it. Yeah, they're just full of stuff. Michelle did a lot of good research on there. So she did all the research, and I did all the messing with her. Yeah, it was a good show. Oh yeah, I used to drive her crazy, Sean. A couple times I'm surprised she didn't fly down here and shoot my ass. Okay, right now. Okay, let's flip this over here. Now let's flip this over here.
What do we do?
Oh, I was moving something. I wanted the server to a different server because it was acting squirrely. I kept seeing it flashing. I was like, "Oh, why are you flashing? You shouldn't be doing that. You should be working." It says it's connected, but
in the chat room.
Okay.
So Tara, Cindy, Joe, what you guys do for Valentine's Day today? Anything?
Smoke
Heidi?
some weed. Let's smoke some weed. Did y'all smoke weed? Shame on you people. You shouldn't smoke that stuff. That
Hey,
stuff is bad for you.
what do you think about that shit going over in England?
What's going on? There's a lot of stuff going on. Clarify.
Okay, I'll clarify. That Queen Camilla got booted out.
Oh, I hadn't
Harry
heard that.
isn't. Oh yeah, man, it's all over. Heidi said
Damn.
nada. Yeah, man. Markle, Harry's so-called wife, you know, got pregnant with Archie by another person. That's not his kid.
Well, that ought to be fun. Well, there's 2 kids anyway. It's not 1. It's 2.
Dude, yeah, I don't know if a little bit. Heidi said I made some hanging hearts for Audrey and glued a puzzle. That was sweet of you. Tell Audrey I saw him pause. But yeah, there's so much shit going on down there. Oh, you got more gnomes, Cindy Mitch. She got gnomes for Valentine's Day. You have an awesome husband, Cindy. You have an awesome husband. Got your gnomes. And I love gnomes. Gnomes are great. They really are.
Them
Gnomes
evil
are the
things.
best.
I use
Especially
them
in
for
little gardens. They're scary looking, man.
man. I use them things for target practice, man. I do. I take them out and shoot them every time I see them. Damn, put them in a bag, take them out and shoot them. Put their little gnomes out of their misery.
Some of them gnomes, dude. Some of them gnomes are scary looking. Scary. You know, I went to a house one time to do an investigation, and she had like about 10 gnomes in her yard. Scared the living shit out of me, man. And she strategically placed them to where you don't even know they're there until you come up on them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang. I mean, I'm going to a demon house or I'm going to a real bad haunting, and then I have no problem going into the haunted house. But man, I see a gnome that's fake. Oh my God. I got scared. Got scared. I was like, damn.
That's why you use them bastards for target practice, man. No, we take them out to the swamp and use them for target practice. Yay! Y'all can have Rumble back now, people. Sorry about that. I was messing around with something else. What is it? No, we'll be taking a break in about 6 minutes. Why? What you doing? What? No, it's not Friday night. Yeah, naked admins are on Friday night. Yeah, Saturday night. Yes, and it's Jay's turn to get naked anyway, so he's not here. So
That's
I don't know what to tell you.
when Jay gets probed. Jay gets probed on Friday nights.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
we gotta go
he's recovering from being probed last night, Joe.
this is the glowing probe. This is for people who aren't behaved. So you get probed with this, and actually, when you do, because it's such a big probe, it glows blue out of your mouth and your eyes. Yes, and then there's another button on the side that's like a little chakra thing. So you got this there, it's glowing, and you hit the other button, it's like. Bzzz. Who did I get it for? The aliens gave me this. Actually, Bob gave me this. You see what happened to Bob? He shouldn't have gave it to me, but everybody should have a lightsaber. Yes. Everyone should have a lightsaber. You know what? I did have a story I was going to play. What did I do with it? Well, I sent a couple of Jay because I thought Goofball was going to be here. So what's? Oh wait, this is Senator Kennedy. We got to play this guy. This guy's crazy. Okay, I don't know what this is, but he's always crazy. So I'm gonna count on him being crazy. Denise, you didn't ask a lot of questions. Oh no, you can. I'm not picking on you. No, this is Senator Kennedy. Yes. No, I don't mind you ask questions. I was just picking on you. I mean, not even really, but still. Let's go. This guy kind of looks like Sean. Let's see. Nah, he don't look like Sean. Y'all crazy.
Oh, I love him, man. That's your boy, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna see what he's gonna say. Yeah, oh man, you missed out. I don't know if I still got it. You got to hear this woman I played from last night. Oh, she was getting fabulous. Oh, man, you missed. She was She's anti-feminist. Jesus, dude. She told some people some new assholes.
She's anti what?
Feminist.
She's anti what?
Feminist.
Oh,
She don't
okay.
like women who don't treat men right. I was like, go girl, go. Okay, here we go. So this is Kennedy. Let's see, Senator Kennedy, school's arrogant professor. Uh-oh. Here we go, guys. Here we go.
I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley's, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
I just
want to
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruin, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words. Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy, end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, when the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats, close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court, referring to the current United States Supreme Court, has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well, close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay.
Ignorant bitch.
In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
X.
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance.
Well,
of this
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m. Quote: the majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy. Close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this.
Did you say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me like you have your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, there's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy, close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
This exchange laid bare the growing tension between academic advocacy and legal objectivity in congressional hearings. The senator's line of questioning was simple but strategic. If Professor Franks argues that claims of Biden-era government-compelled speech are a myth, while asserting that the Trump administration engaged in such coercion, can her testimony truly be separated from her openly expressed political views? To test that claim of neutrality, the senator entered Frank's own words into the record, language from a 2023 Law Review article and multiple social media posts that framed Supreme Court decisions as products of racial patriarchy, white male supremacy, and a constitutional order that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill. The point, by repeatedly confirming the accuracy of her own statements, Franks effectively acknowledged that her public commentary casts the Supreme Court not as an institution interpreting law, but as an ideological engine of oppression. That framing, the senator argued, directly undermines her claim of detached, precedent-based analysis. The exchange deteriorated when Franks declined to directly reaffirm her statements, instead questioning their relevance. But relevance was precisely the issue. When a witness presents herself as an objective interpreter of constitutional doctrine, prior assertions that the court is motivated by racial dominance inevitably raise doubts about analytical neutrality. What made the moment striking was not the senator's skepticism, but Frank's refusal to reconcile her academic rhetoric with the role she was playing in the hearing. The hearing underscored a broader challenge facing Congress. When scholars move from critique to activism, the line between expert testimony and ideological advocacy becomes increasingly difficult to defend.
You tell him, Kenny. Even though that one you can't ask some other broad. Boy, did you hear Rubio's speech?
Hey, Joe, real quick. Can you explain that to me, please? People, I didn't understand what was happening. What was she doing and what was he doing?
She was just saying that she was bipartisan, that she did not view this from one side. By showing her tweets and her writings, it showed that she was very lefty and she could not be bipartisan. She only viewed it from one side. So he was just calling her out because she kept going around saying no, because she said all this stuff about Biden didn't do that, and then Trump did. Well, Biden did do it. Trump did too, but Biden did it too. So, but she wasn't going to call out Biden. She was only going to call out Trump. Well, that doesn't work, and nobody's going to put up with that. So that proved right there that she goes by her politics and not by her job. And so he was just putting her straight for the record, is what he was doing. It'll cost her a job, probably keep her from getting on with other places. You got to hear Rubio's speech. We can't play it tonight because it's 22 minutes long, but it's man, he was talking to Europe today. He's powerful. I thought he was gonna start crying, man. It was he was like, no, man, look, this is how this has to be. Yeah, I'm sure he made the European leaders feel better. Trump couldn't have gave that speech, man. Not in a million years. Something about Marco Rubio. And then somewhere, we got to go to break. So we'll play this as I break if I can find it. This is fuck the woke. Yeah, we can play that right now. But Jay made me play that like twice last night, that fucker. Joe, you got to play Fuck the Woke. I'm like, wow, I don't know that song. Yeah, you know, Joe, you got to play it, man. No, I don't know that song. Yeah, no, Joe, you got to play it, man. Oh, no, they had more good news for the economy came out. I don't know what the Democrats must just be diarrhea in themselves. Yeah, inflation's even lower. 2.4% was lower than forecast. I know everything keeps getting better, and they just don't know what
Do
to
do you think that's why they keep doing it? As because they're just so
Wait, say
fed
that
up
again.
because things are working right?
Well, the Democrats just don't know what to. This isn't the real Democratic Party. So in the old days, the real Democratic Party could have gave credit to some of the stuff Trump's done. I mean, so this is another thing that came out today. The GDP has gone down more than they thought it was going to go down. So we were 36 trillion in debt. He's cut off like 16 trillion of it.
Wow.
I don't have to tell you guys, he's doing what he said he's doing. If he can keep on course and everything goes where it's supposed to, he might pay off the debt before we leave. That means all kind of good things for us. It's yeah, we're not paying interest on that money, which means that money's going to something else for a change. All those billions of dollars we're paying interest is going to get to go to some other projects, other programs. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you seen that? Yeah. Jay started a GoFundMe page last night to get Sean to Mars. Yeah. The only way we're going to make this motherfucker believe there's a Mars is to bring his ass there. So I said, all right, we'll start.
Damn
So
straight, man.
Now we got to go fund. What's that? Freddie says we're going to have to gas you to get you on a spaceship. You might be right, Fred. You might be. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. This is the EU president and UK prime minister reacting to Rubio's speech. So you're not going to get to hear the speech. So later on, maybe at the end of the show, we'll put. Nah, it's too long. But so yeah, ready. This is from CNN, courtesy of CNN. So hopefully, it don't get us in trouble. And let me go find here. There's been a lot of good stuff going on. Well, Trump
going on.
yeah.
Prince William called out. What's his name?
Who?
Him. Prince William.
Yeah,
called him
that because this guy needs to go, just like the one in Canada needs to go. When I'm talking to Michelle and Amelia, they hate this guy. Well, the other one, it looks like his guy. What's his name? Corny. Yeah, corny like corny dog. Corny like stupid corny.
Corny.
Yeah, that's it. So y'all ready, guys? We're gonna put this on, and we will see all of y'all in a few minutes. Didn't mean to cut myself off. See y'all in about 8 minutes.
And think that therefore all we're really doing is reasserting the continuation of what we've had for the last 80 years. That would be a mistake, and it'd be a particular mistake for Europe, because my strong view is that Europe hasn't done enough in its own defense and security for many years.
Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe.
And just to be clear, the special report put out before this conference began labels Trump, quote, the demolition man. And its authors warned that we're entering an era of, quote, wrecking ball politics with the US-led post-1945 international order now under destruction. Serious stuff indeed. And so I asked the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer for their red lines and roadmap for the future defense and survival of Europe.
I was very much reassured by the speech of the Secretary of State. We know him. He's a good friend, a strong ally. Indeed, this was for me very reassuring to listen to him. We know that in the administration, some have a harsher tone on these topics. But the Secretary of State was very clear. He said, we want a strong Europe in the alliance. And this is what we are working for intensively in the European Union. We have to be an independent Europe, not a Europe that is leaning on someone, but a Europe that is going forward with friends and allies together, facing the challenges that are out there.
I thought the Secretary of State's speech was consistent with the argument that Ursula made in her remarks a moment ago and the argument I'm making. I think it's really clear, though, that we shouldn't get in the warm bath of complacency and think that, therefore, all we're really doing is reasserting the continuation of what we've had for the last 80 years. That would be a mistake, and it'd be a particular mistake for Europe, because my strong view is that Europe hasn't done enough in its own defence and security for many years, because we will only be able to preserve NATO in the way it is needed for the next 80 years if we change and strengthen the European dimension. That is something which a number of American presidents have said for some time. I believe to be true, and I think we've got to seize this movement to move forward, not to pull apart the transatlantic relationship, but to make sure it works in the circumstances and the times that we face.
The current Secretary General of NATO, after Trump's Davos speech, actually after Prime Minister Carney's speech, which talked about a rupture, he said, if you all are thinking that you can do what you have to do without the United States, then dream on. It's not going to happen. So how long do you think it'll take to get to this posture that you both say you need to get to?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that we're not looking at a future that tears us apart from the Euro-Atlantic alliance that we have. NATO has been the single most effective and successful military alliance the world has ever known, and we should never move away from it. But I think simply sitting where we are isn't good enough, and therefore the change does need to come. That needs Europe to be stronger, to be working more closely together, and that's why I said what I said about the UK-EU relationship. We're 10 years on from Brexit. We are not the Britain of the Brexit years. We're a Britain that wants to work with the EU even more closely in light of the challenge that we face here 10 years on.
But you also said, and I want to get to the bottom of this, that some red lines have been crossed and they cannot be uncrossed. You were talking about the United States in your speech, I think. What red lines are you talking about? Because there is a massive deficit of trust between many people in the alliance and certainly leaders who are now having to do what you're doing, workarounds, de-risking, decoupling, whatever you might want to call it, independence. What red lines have been crossed that cannot be uncrossed?
So, for example, I want to be very clear, our digital sovereignty is our digital sovereignty. Very clear on that one. And we have a long tradition in freedom of speech. Actually, the Enlightenment started on our continent. And we are very clear with digital sovereignty also that what is forbidden offline is forbidden online. And we will not flinch what that is concerned. We will be very steadfast to pursue this very clear demand for us.
About Ukraine, because again, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, barely mentioned it except for an elusive peace, he said those words. Now, President Trump has said in his latest comments that Ukraine, President Zelensky needs to get onto it because Russia wants a deal, these are his words, and President Zelensky needs to get onto it right now, otherwise he's going to miss a great opportunity. Secretary Rubio did not go to your meeting, your leaders' meeting with President Zelensky last night. Where do you think this all stands? Where do the negotiations stand? Is it Zelensky who needs to be pressured?
So I think it's extremely important that we do not buy in the Russian narrative. And this has been out too much there. I mean, if we look at the strategic goals and the military goals of Putin, it's a huge failure. He wanted to Russify Ukraine. Ukraine has become European. He wanted to stop NATO. NATO has gotten bigger with Sweden and Finland. He wanted to occupy Ukraine within days or weeks. Well, now we are unfortunately in the 4th year of the war. And I think it is so important that we, on our side, tell the truth, what is going on in Russia, with a war economy, with skyrocketing interest rates and inflation, completely isolated. And now this is a war of attrition. And in this war of attrition, it is of utmost importance that we push forward the negotiations and put pressure on Putin that he finally comes to the negotiation table.
So I need to ask you a political question because a lot of people at home are interested. You've just spoken about the amount of money that needs to be spent on the Ukraine defense, on Britain, on Europe. That takes politics and convincing. I want to ask you, do you think you narrowly just miss being toppled? Do you think that what's happening in the politics at home is distracting you and perhaps making you vulnerable to a Brexit follow, the Reform Party or even maybe the Conservatives who might not want to pursue the kind of politics that you want to pursue?
No, I reject that. I ended the week much stronger than I started it, and that's a very good place to be. And my party and my government is completely united on the question of Ukraine and defence and security and the need for stronger relations with Europe on defence, on security and on economy as well. And so I think that there is real strength in the position I've now set out. I think there'll be the whole of the government is united behind that. I think actually it unites across the House of Commons. Not everybody, I accept. Reform have a different agenda. They're pro-Putin. We know where they stand. Imagine if they were in government in the United Kingdom. The coalition of the willing could not exist with UK participation in it. We would not be seen as a leader on the European or international stage. We would be seen as a country that people couldn't do business with. So it's not universal across our parliament, but there's a very strong feeling amongst right-minded politicians that we stick together on Ukraine. So for all of the divisions that you never to get in politics, there are some real clarity and some real certainty on these key issues.
I'm 65, and today I'm switching from doing nothing to Tai Chi chair workouts. Hope it's worth it. This is me after 2 months of Tai Chi chair workouts. I feel younger and stronger than in my 30s.
Over 50 should not be running, lifting, or crunching. There's a smarter way. Tai Chi chair workouts. In 1 week, you'll move better than 90% people of your age. In 2 weeks, you'll have a toned body.
I would break the chair. Don't they
the Saudi
realize
Royal
that
Guard
Putin
kind
can
of
wipe
freaked
out
out
NATO?
because I dared to ask a question, and they're not used to that there because they don't have a free press. And so they came up and they said, okay, well, you can't come into the next event, which was like 2 minutes later. And I was like, that's not how this works. I go into the US press and they were like, well, you're not coming in. And I could see them like whispering and pointing about me. And some of the younger White House staff that were with the press weren't really sure what to do. And they went to Caroline. And to her credit, she said, no, Caitlin's coming in with the rest of the US press. And we went in. And so it didn't become this huge issue.
We shouldn't get in the warm bath of complacency and think that, therefore, all we're
I was saying I seen Sean's girlfriend down there, Camilla Smanmella. Hey, welcome in there, sure. Hey, Cindy, how y'all doing?
Oh, no.
Hey, Heidi. You know you want her, man. Don't even. Where's Jay when I need him, man?
Oh, come on, dude.
You in love with her, man?
No, I don't. No.
You said you could name your first daughter
you know
after
I like that Lindsay Starling, man. Lindsay Sterling.
Ooh, Lindsay's hot. But you know what, Lindsay? I don't think Lindsay's as hot as the Jean girl. The Jean girl, but I don't like blondes. That's what we just started. It's a stupid conversation. Don't pay attention.
Who's that?
No. Okay. Wait. Okay. Marilyn, look. Now I got a lot of friends that are blonde. If I was dating someone, I don't date blondes, especially
Is that Sydney Sweeney you're talking about?
Yeah, Jean girl. Maybe she brunettes are always better by far.
I don't know.
Yeah, brown or black.
Brunettes are better. Sherry, God love
they
you.
They are better.
Sherry said brunettes are better. Yeah,
I know they are.
I don't hate blonde, but redheads.
I don't hate them either.
That's the way to go. Redheads.
Well, my second girlfriend was a bikini model. She was blonde, but I would tell you what she looked like, but it would be almost sound like porn. No, it would. No, so that was the blonde-headed lady is in charge of the EU. She's the big chief, and of course, the goofy guy next to her is in charge of the UK, who's a doofball. The other lady in the red, she is a reporter. Yeah. So what you need to do is go listen to Rubio's speech. You see how they reacted, how kindly they reacted. Because remember, Trump is being, well, I can only say he's been being a dick to him for a year. And the blonde likes him, even though she said she hated him, but she really did like him. You can tell. Come on, ladies. Okay. I'm an old guy. I've been around for a while. I raised a bunch of girls. I was raised in a family with a bunch of girls. I know a bunch of girls, a bunch of women. When a woman looks at a guy a particular way, come on. There ain't no doubt what it's about.
Yeah, she was hot. She had the hot eyes. She was like smiling when she mentioned Trump's name. Yeah.
She well, there's one group together, and she walks up and bumps him in the side. She just kind of swears her head and looks up at him like, "Hey, baby." I was like, "You better hope Melina don't see you, girl. She gonna kick your ass. Put one of them 9-inch stilettos somewhere you wish they wouldn't go." I knew when I said that was going to come up. So I have not seen her movie. Shame on me. Well, I'm not that interested in Melania. I mean, I like her and all. She's pretty. She's nice. I'm sure she's smart because she's married to Trump. You don't look like you married dumb women.
No.
Well, mostly intelligent guys like to marry intelligent women. I'm sure there's some out there that just want the dumb blonde, stereotype, but or someone might want to. That was just gross that you even said that. Yes, and some might want that, but regardless, not. If Jay shows up, maybe because he's got all the stuff in his computer. Yeah, I might have a copy of it somewhere. But no, that's all Epstein stuff. There was a bunch of links were sent to me today about who, and no, I'm not. I haven't seen anything so far on Trump that made me nervous. Somebody asked me that yesterday. I'm like, no, not so far. Pretty Trump. I mean, the victims all said he was clear. And the only person they said ever accused him also said he didn't do anything. So, Janine, I seen that. So some guy said that some girl was raped by him and Epstein in 1980, and he came forward in 2020. No, the girl was dead, had been dead for a long time. And just, I guess, because he didn't like Trump, he came forward. No, the FBI, and remember, this was the Biden FBI said it wasn't worth looking at because it couldn't be verified. Yeah, well, because the girl was dead and Epstein was dead.
He's alive. He's in Italy.
Oh, that bastard. He's dead, man. That guy, you seen that? I show you that guy going in the cell that night. He's dead. He just conked him out.
We should get a Twitter poll and put it out there, Joe. Is Epstein dead or alive?
No, I'll tell you why I know he's dead. There's 3 reasons he's dead. One, none of these famous people that are coming out now would have trusted him to keep a secret if he was going to go to prison for life. So they would have made sure he's dead. But it gets worse than that because He was either had connections with the Israeli spy agency or with the CIA. So they would have made sure he was not going to tell out on anybody. There is no statute of limitations on that, Marcy. No, the pedophile stuff don't have it. I know California, New York are trying to change the laws and make it way less. You're getting way less trouble and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. They have a different way of looking at it, I guess. Well, I would think that would determine what the mistake was, wouldn't you? I don't know. I haven't had enough time to read about it, but we got invited to one of the debates. One of the NBC debates we got invited to. So, well, yeah, I'll show up. I won't show up unprepared. I don't do that kind of stuff, but I'll get a couple people in the network to help me out, and then I'll a couple of the old pros, and then I'll go through it and see what they're actually talking about, and then I'll come packed for bear. I like the debate. I like to argue. So.
Siri came up with something, and I want to ask you. I agree with her on this, but Sherry said that she don't believe, she is not convinced that Putin is bad.
Putin is like any other world leader. He's good and he's bad. He's got his bad things. He's got his good things. I don't like Lizinski. I never did. Putin said there were several reasons why he wanted that territory and why he wanted that stuff, because he said Lizinski was doing stuff, and he said they let him put up some kind of some kind of Nazi camp there. I don't know how much that's true, how much of it's not, but he listed off a lot of reasons why he invaded. And then there's another question. So prior to the previous invasion of Crimea, after that invasion, there was security given by the EU, and the United States was supposed to protect them from another invasion, and we didn't. And why not? Do we even care if Russia gets the Ukraine? Yes, we do. Get a lot of wheat and stuff. Then they got other materials there, so we don't want them getting it. But the one lady was right. I mean, he's done more. Putin's done more to harm his own self than anybody else. I mean, he's pushed the EU closer together. He's forced the United States into making the EU and NATO more powerful. He wants the EU to be as powerful as we are. And then there is no threat to anybody. If America and its biggest ally, or the two most powerful nations ever exist, Russia and China is out of the ballgame. Russia's going to be out anyway. I think once Putin's gone and some democracy can get back in there, I think you see they'll start breaking ties with China and reinforcing ties with the United States. Because China has not been able to help them do what the United States could have already done for them. It's a simple concept. So look at China's whole nation, then stop and think of places like Japan and South Korea and other places, how they were 40 years ago and how they are today, or 60 years ago and how they are today. China hasn't caught up with that yet. Taiwan is for being the little island it is way more advanced and way ahead of China. And Japan is, I would leave Japan alone, especially since the U.S. has given them some secret stuff that they're not telling anybody. Is it true that we put kill switches on all weapons we give to other countries? In some cases, I think it is true. One of our European allies found kill switches in F-35s that they had purchased, but it was kind of a weird thing because those weren't actually the planes that were going to them. They were headed to a different destination. So the planes that they were getting didn't have kill switches in them. But whoever in America was selling those F-35s did too. They never would fess up to who they were selling the F-35s to. They never did. Fuck you. What are you telling me? I often wonder, John, so I know it's a total switch of topic. So I was in the Navy. I was stationed on a field base. carrier was on, haven't worked until it was stationed at a field base somewhere in the mountains. I forgot where the fuck we were. And, oh no, I didn't. It's just classified. But anyway, we're sitting there and we're doing touch and goes all day long. So we got pilots going and coming, going and coming, going, coming. We're rolling planes in, bringing them out. And it's just do all day long. Well, it's getting late and we're starting to wrap up and we're starting to bring the planes into the hangars. That way we ain't got to strap them down or do all this other prep because there's a lot of things you have to do when they're outside. Anyway, so we get them, we started getting them in, everybody's getting in. And one of the first things you do when a plane lands before a pilot even gets out, you walk around, you check all that, make sure there's not hot breaks or anything like that can explode and other things. Any weapons, you immediately slide the pins into the weapons so the weapons can't malfunction or take off or do anything like that. And then as you climb the side, there's other pins you put in. Then when you look into the cockpit, the first thing you do when you look in the cockpit, you got a pin with a piece on it, and it's about this long, and you slide it underneath the ejection seat in the front, and then you slide it underneath the ejection seat in the back. That way it can't go anywhere. It's there. Even if the guy hits it and strips it off some way, it ain't going anywhere. And then there's other pins that have to be put in for a couple other devices. Two of them are radar devices. One of them is a secondary weapons device. I couldn't tell you if I wanted to, but couldn't even tell you what the radar devices were for. But anyway, you do all of that, and then you can bring the pilot out of the plane, and then you climb in the plane and do the rest of whatever you got to do. And then the plane's rolled in and parked to wherever it's going to go. Everything's set, brakes set, wings folded, and she's ready for her nap. Well, it's routine. Everybody's doing their job that night. And I was working on the F-18 Hornet, and we were just getting ready to, we had already worked everything out. The pilot's out, he's inside, the cockpit was done, the tags went in, we were just folding the wings and get ready to move it to parking. And I heard, all right, and then you're, and as everybody turns around, you see the injection seat leaving one of the Hornets. And you can see the guy is laid over the seat because the force is too much for him to get off of it. And then you looking up, and he went right through this, right. There's steel girders right there, went right into it. Half the injection seat went out the roof, and the other half just smashed against. Anyway, it was gross looking, splattered blood. It was like a shower of fucking blood. It was just like, it was, unfortunately, I've seen some nasty shit in my life.
Yeah. When I was on the Independence, some guy got sucked up in the turbine on an A7.
Yeah, them A7 Cortez are bitches, man.
Yeah, they are. There's like millions of little razor blades in that engine. The dude got chopped up quick.
Jesse Lou, my first assignment was the A7 Corsair. It was called the River Rattler Squadron, and I was attached to them for about 8 months. And it was A7 Corsair 2s. 2-seaters.
Yeah. We only had 1-seaters.
Yeah, but we had 2-seaters, and then we had oh no, they couldn't go faster than sound. They were 550, 600. You might push them to 650.
They were slow.
The problem is when you got around 500, they were like rattle traps. You're like, get the fuck, let me out of this thing. Oh no, because anytime you work on a jet, they want you to go for a ride with it. They don't fuck who you are. So I did the electronics and a couple other things on them. So I was going for a ride. And a couple of times we went to the carrier that way. They'd say, well, you haven't been on a plane, get in. And because usually we all go out on a cargo plane or something. They just grab you and take you. I got to fly in several different jets. The Corsairs 2 times, and I told the pilot, I said, if I was you, I'd request a different fucking plane. He said, why y'all keep it running great? I said, this thing's a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
It's
those were the days, Joe. Those were the days.
Fucking rattle trap. No, I wasn't gonna follow this guy. I mean, all the everything worked on it correctly. It did just what the kind of planes they were. They were big and bulky, and they were attack craft. They weren't fighters.
Joe,
they were designed to roll in and drop shit on your head. Huh?
I'll tell you what happened on our ship. The pilot, he gave the signal to go, and there wasn't enough in the catapult to launch it off. So it took off. It went up and down in the water, man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so what they did was they launched off 2 F-14 Tomcats. They launched off, and they came and they hit the 50 calibers on it and sunk it because we had Russians right behind us.
Yeah, well, you can't leave that kind of stuff around because especially if it's got. I mean, it depends what you're doing. Well, Frank,
that was a pilot ear.
I seen a sidewinder drag a guy down the end of the runway. The only reason he didn't get shot off the bow of the boat is he got caught between the resting cable, and somehow he got the jet because he had something hanging on to. The jet just ripped the shirt. The thruster ripped the shirt and got loose and went off on its own. Oh man, it pulled his arm out of socket. It pulled the shoulder and his elbow out of socket. Broke his wrist. But hey, he was alive. Let me tell you what, Jackie. If you go off the front of a carrier, you're dead. Yep. It's going to roll right. We're doing whatever knots we're doing, and we're going to roll. And then big, huge monster blades on the back are going to go. And you could be fishy food.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Oh, I seen a Tomcat smash into the conning tower. I thought we were all fully loaded. I thought for sure we were all dead. No, he caught the arresting cable and the hook broke. So he had slowed down about halfway and the hook just snapped. And when it snapped, it cocked the plane off this way and it just went right into the conning tower. Matter of fact, the nose went into where the door was. So it actually went through the door, popped it off. And we're all just standing there waiting to see if these missiles were going to start exploding and shit. And everybody's grabbing a fire hose, everybody's with the foam and everything. Nah, the pilots lived. I was amazed. They both lived. It was actually they pulled the electronics out of it and threw it off the carrier. Yep. It was too far gone to save. That's what they did. They pulled it out and tossed it.
They deep sixed it. Yeah.
I seen so they were doing what they call twin launches. So the jets are like this, and it's like, and so man, we're launching and we're keeping it going. And actually, it's our job. It's not the pilot's job. It's the guys who are doing this, launching jets. We're the ones telling them when to go, what to do, how to do it, and we're in sync. So I'm standing here. The other launcher standing there. He sees me do this. He goes up. As soon as he sees me drop my hand, the pilot just punches it, and then the other pilot punches it, and it's just like a second, 2 seconds between each one punching it, just enough time to keep them from running into each other. And
it is so cool. It's so cool to watch. It really is.
It is. Well, we had one on a front one go out one time. It lost an engine. The engine just failed, and when it did, it kicked it over sideways and knocked it into the other jet. So both these jets went off the front, and all of a sudden you see 4 parachutes about 800 feet above the carrier, and you hear come over the con, full speed, because we didn't want to run them over, and it was crazy. They made it. Not everybody made it though, Jess. There's a couple people got killed. Different things. One guy got his arm caught up.
You know what, Joe? A lot of people think that the carriers are huge, and they are huge on the flight deck. But man, it is so dangerous on that flight deck. Honest to Pete.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're doing, you're done. It's that simple.
Yeah. A lot of people, it's like going on if you're out at war somewhere and you're on the front line, it's kind of like that. So the old timers will tell you if you make it through the first 2 months, you're probably going to be okay. But look, I'm out there working. I remember when I got promoted, so I was out there launching jets, and I'm having a ball. Like, yeah. So, and because I got that whole section that belongs to me now, right? Everybody, all the greens, reds, everybody else got to listen to what I'm saying. They can't move without my permission. Nobody can do anything without my permission. So I'm all set up. I'm getting this jet ready to launch. And this pilot, he pops his canopy, pops it, not opens it, but pops it, and canopy goes flying off the back of the ship. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, dude? And then you see both systems go off, and they go up in the air. Both ejection seats go off, just boom. Now, the one guy's in his seat sitting down. He's way off, floating off behind the ship now. The other guy is wrapped in between the cords because he was halfway over when he set it off. And I still remember we got the binoculars. The guy's like, he looks like he's turning blue. Yeah, because his arms and legs were all wrapped up in the core. If the other guy wouldn't have got loose, the first pilot would have drowned. He went over there and cut him loose because he was drowning. Because them seats are heavy when they get in the water. There's no flotation on them. I think later on models they put it on there, but not on those. They're ejection seats. They're big and bulky and heavy, and they shoot way up in the sky. They got these big, huge shells underneath them like this. And they go, up you go. Well, you got a jet flying at, Mach whatever with tail fins and stuff. You got to be able to clear that. And you don't want to get hit by the thrust either.
Do they train pilots on that live training?
They do a lot of that.
Coming out of the cockpit?
Yeah, you do ejection seats. Yeah, they have ejection seat training. Fighter pilots and other pilots have to go through it, but they don't make other kind because like a lot of the cargo planes or the C-30s and stuff like that. They're not. You have to jump out of them. There's no ejection seats. Grab a parachute, jump out the side of the bitch because they're not going that fast. I mean, they're going fast, but they're not going like a fighter jet is. Yeah. Fighter jets. Well, I mean, most of ours will do at least 1.5 or faster. Well, anytime you see something like it says, "Oh, yeah, F-18 Mach 1.65," okay, we don't never put out the real speed publicly. Never. Navy never has. I got sanctioned for talking about how fast the actual carrier actually went. Oh yeah, and I would have gotten more trouble, but they would get ready to decommission and
Army vet.
Yeah. Oh, so you should have been listening. Okay, USA, you should have been listening to what we just played a little while ago. So Marco Rubio, who's going to be our next president, was over in England today or yesterday, and he was telling them how we're going to all do this together and how we need each other, blah, 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 blah. And so we played a little while ago what the head of the EU and the head of Britain thought. And they thought, so first they talking about all of this and how he's not the first president to ask us to get our shit together and to put more in defense and help to build NATO. So they've all of NATO's now committed to 5% for NATO. So all nations have to put a 5% of their GDP now for NATO. That's just badass is what that is. And then, so they're going to have that. So that's going to build NATO a big and strong and sassy. And then Europe has gone ahead and said each nation, the EU, is going to go probably add another 5% into their, into their military. Because Europe needs to be as powerful as the United States. Because if we're both that powerful, Putin ain't going to do shit. Putin's going to stay in his little house and not come out again. What's China going to do? Ooh, I want to die? How do you say I want to die in Chinese? Where's my damn headphone? Huh? No, really, I mean, it's one of those things that's kind of stupid because they're not going to get it. And to be frank with you, nobody in China wants to die. China wants to be the United States with more control. Yeah, they want to have more control over their people. And you can't blame them. They got a population of 1.4 billion. I mean, somebody could sneeze wrong and take that fucking country over. I mean, any kind of movement could really run the fuck over that country in a heartbeat. And that's not my rules, Jesse Lee. So China technically, bottom half technically is sort of democratic. They do have, you can vote for people, get people elected in different things, but once you get, I think it's above mayor, governors and all, and above that are all part of the Communist Party. They're assigned their job. Hi, Gene Don. Joe gave you know what, and you can have the job. Don't get 30 thoughts. Just saying she was giving up her goal, man. That's why she got the job. You got 30 thoughts, man. Damn, shame on you. Well, Trump's changing everything. He's changing everything. I mean, we just listen to the head of the EU and the head of Britain, basically saying, let me kiss you, Mr. Trump, because Rubio went over there and gave a really passionate speech and made people understand what we're trying to do. And he attacked them for the lack of free speech in Europe now, since they're supposed to be the mother and father of free speech, which is not really true, but we're going to give them credit anyway. You know, so that's why USA, I think that's why Sweden, Switzerland, whoever the two that joined NATO joined one so they, if they needed help, they could get it from us. Because rape went up in their country 400%. Now, granted, I mean 400%. I mean, what were their rape cases? Man, why did I bring Syria in here with me? I mean, what do they have? 4 years or something? So I mean, when you do 400%, it's not like you would be in the United States somewhere, but still, it's outrageous. But it's all over Europe. The Muslims just came in and just wreaked havoc. But you know what? You know what the people are seeing in Europe? They're seeing the United States saying, fuck you. Get the fuck out of our country. We're not putting up with this fucking shit anymore. You're not going to run around with your face covered unless you're ice. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know what ice. Why did I bring it back? I think as long as there's a chance of them being doxxed, they should wear a mask. Yeah. I don't like it. I think it sucks. But if you're going to go around and attack these people's families, I think that's the only thing you can do. And I don't think it should ever be tolerated. So I mean, let's say we decide to stop making them wear a mask, and all of a sudden people start showing up at their homes and going to their kids' schools and stuff. I think at that point, everybody who's any involved with that should be put in jail for at least 10 years, because that would stop that. I don't want to be arrested by somebody all covered up. I might, get a little antsy, nervous. Hey, man, my last name's Montaldo. They might say, hey, where you from, boy? I said, Sean's my uncle. my Uncle Sean, man. You better call my uncle. Hey. Watch it there, Billy G. I got 40% Irish, Scottish, Welsh, English. Yes, sir, I do. Uh-huh. And I got Italian.
I got 85% Irish, 10% Polish. I found out that I got 1% Scottish. Yes, I am 85% Irish.
Well, I got 40% of all y'all up there. And I told the guy, I said, what the hell does that mean? He said, well, it just means you're a Viking. Don't worry about it. I said, well, how do you know that? He said, because y'all fucked your way across the side. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true, isn't it? He said, yeah, all them Scots, you screwed all them people. I was like, damn, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, they did.
But it's true. No, it's true. What he was saying was true, but I never really thought of it quite like that before. No, I better not go over there. They might not like me. Were you coming back to pillage some more?
I wonder how many Viking descendants are in Canada. Probably a lot.
I would imagine not everybody who came over here with, what was it, Eric Durad, Leek Everson, whichever one hell came over here 1,000 years ago. I would imagine they didn't all go home. I would think some might have migrated north because they like the cold weather better, and I don't know. It just seems to be certain things on the planet, on this side of the world, is a little older than what we thought it was. Well, we were all taught that Christopher Columbus discovered discovered Americas, and we all found out later on that wasn't true. The Vikings discovered the Americas. Well, what's his name just was the one down there raping, killing, and pillaging the Mexicans. Or the Aztecs. I'm sorry. So, when people tell me, indigenous people, Joe, indigenous people. Well, we didn't rape and pillage and kill the Mexicans. Or I'm sorry, the Aztecs from all the way where Mexico is down through Central America and all the way up in the United States to Canada into Washington State. Yeah, that all used to be Spanish territory. And so did New Mexico and a couple other places. Used to be all Spanish territory. They conquered all of that. Kicked everybody's ass out of there. Well, what happened, Billy Ray, is we got into a war with Mexico and we kicked their ass. So the Mexicans the Spanish killed the Aztecs and a whole bunch of the Indians all the way up the coast and took all their territory. And then we came in and kicked their asses, the Spanish asses, and they sold us the territory. We should have bought Mexico with it, and then we wouldn't be having this whiny, bitchy problem with the terrorists today.
Well, didn't New Orleans get bought from the French? Did we buy from the French, or did we take it from them?
No, we bought it. The Louisiana Purchase. This is a big chunk of the country, like 1/3 of the damn country. Little piece, Louisiana at the bottom, and all the way wide up across all kind of states.
Is that part of Mississippi?
Did it go that way? I thought did it go the other way? I think it went up straight up on Louisiana, so it kind of skip Mississippi, but then it widened out as it went up. Yeah, because it was on both sides of the Mississippi River, and it was like a state or two in on both sides of the Mississippi at the top, not at the bottom. At the bottom, I think it was just Louisiana, or maybe a little part of Texas. But no, we should have kept all of that. Louisiana be a big old monster state. Yeah, man, we'd be rocking. Oh
no,
man,
y'all would be fighting Texas.
No, we wouldn't. Texas would be our friends always. Now, we wouldn't have that shit going on in Minnesota up there because it would be part of the territory. Be like, excuse me, you doing what up here? You better get your ass to helping ICE, or we're going to deport your whole damn state. Right to the middle of the fucking Gulf of Mexico.
Something must have happened up Minnesota because I have not heard anything going on up there.
So President Trump brought his boy Tom Holden in. Tom Holden did what he's supposed to do, and then Tom Holden got on TV that day and said, now I'd like to tell y'all, thanks to the local PD coming in and helping us finally and getting all this, we're actually done and we'll be leaving now. So now all Mr. Tampon Tim has to talk about is the Somali fraud. See, because too much of this was getting, they got all that big fraud up there, and all they were talking about, of course, was these two people being killed in ICE. Well, ICE is gone now. Nothing to talk about with ICE anymore. And as far as these two people getting killed, you're going to have a hard time convincing most Americans that they were good people. Well, Janine, the woman that got killed in the truck, we know that her first husband divorced her and took the kids for certain reasons, which I'm not going to repeat. And then she married the other guy and he died. And then for some reason, she just, with her other kid she's got now, she decided to turn gay. I'm not hating her, for whatever reason, she became gay. And then they were out there being activists and getting in trouble all the time, having fun, and then she decided she was going to go get in the middle of an active investigation, which, by the way, people, I'm going to reiterate this. When cops are in the middle of making an arrest or going after somebody and you interfere, that's interfering with the law. You can go to jail and you can be shot. So, and then makes it even worse. They're interfering with the law. Then they're going to try to escape when the cop says stop. So, the wife tries to get in the car, but she can't get in. And she's singing, "Go, baby, go, baby." The other girl, she's in the car. She's with this big shit-eating grin on her face. And then I hear this stuff. Oh, she tried to turn. And I said, well, where did she try to turn? Her wife's on the right side of the car, almost touching it. The one cop's on the left side of the car, leaning against it. And then there's a cop in front of her. Where was she going? She was ordered to stop and get out of the car, and she kept going. There was nowhere for her to go without running someone over. And she made a choice. She didn't run over her girlfriend. She ran over the cop instead because she could have went right. But she didn't do it. So that's making a choice. So she got shot. That was stupid. I mean, you should have just stopped right there. When the cop said stop and get out your car, a lawful order, since you were interfering with a crime area, you should have got out the car. You'd have got arrested. They'd have put your car, towed it in, but you'd still be alive today. And your 3 kids would still have a mother. But because you thought you knew better, you're dead and your kids don't have a mother. And some lesbian you only knew for like a year now has $1.5 million because you're dead. How'd that work out? Somebody needs to make sure that money gets put away for these kids.
Yep.
Yeah, $500,000 each kid. Oh, I guarantee you this woman's already supposed to spend. She reminds me of those leaders from the BLM. Okay, Don, not all the leaders were bad for BLM. Some were, some weren't. Some were, some weren't. Yeah, well, I'm not going to mention any names, but you can go look them up. Actually, one of the good BLM leaders came out on Trump. Yeah, they said he was the guy. Several BLM members came out for Trump. More and more blacks are coming out for Trump every day. He's because he's doing something for them. He's doing something for us. He is actually fucking doing something. Joe Biden did nothing. It was like, wasn't even crickets. It was less than crickets. It was just quiet, like white noise. That's what Joe Biden did for us. Huh? A blowjob and a cookie. Oh, for Biden? I don't. He probably wouldn't even know. He'd be like, "What are you doing down there?" Oh, that was sick. I can't repeat that. That was sick, man. That was you gonna make an AI out of it? All right, well, you ain't playing it here. Shoot. Oh, that was just sick. No, I've seen the videos of him stroking the girls' hairs and stuff, and the things about him taking showers with his daughter and stuff. And what do you mean age appropriate to take a shower with your daughter? Well, I'm from the South. I would have to say 0 age, but what do you mean, like when she's a newborn? Even then, I just wouldn't do it.
That's sick. It's sick. That is sick.
I know I would bathe her. Don't get me wrong. I had no problem bathing her. I wouldn't feel comfortable in the shower with my daughter.
No, man, that's ridiculous. That's sick.
Jack, I wouldn't feel comfortable in the shower with my son. What are you talking about? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Get out. I'd just be like, get the fuck out the bathroom until I'm out. It's a private place. I bathe my son. I bathe. Yeah. But, once they get a certain age, they need to do that their own. They say I'm lazy. That's like age 3. You gotta learn how to bathe your ass. And we had.
There he is.
He
came in.
And they had mothers and stuff, man.
There he is.
Hey, Uncle
there
Jay.
He is.
What the fuck? What are you doing, man? Pick a spot, man.
It wasn't me, it was Sean.
I've been trying to get you in here, but you keep putting yourself out.
I stopped pushing on it, so
that's a lesbian behavior. We know what that is. Oh man, you missed, man. So you get a chance later on. You need to listen to Rubio's speech. He's the next president of the United States.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. After that speech,
Joe.
He went and addressed Europe yesterday.
Hey, Heidi.
And it was a good speech. I didn't get to hear the last part of it, but even the Europeans said it was a good speech. And then what we played was on the show tonight, we played what the head of the EU had to say and the head of the UK had to say. It was all pretty good stuff too.
Well, my friends were saying we just finished this really complicated game. They were saying about something. We were launching lasers and shooting down drones over the Mexican border somewhere the last few days.
I haven't seen it, but you never know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it on any news agencies. I mean, it's because
he apparently did. I don't know what he saw it on, so I'm gonna have to search the interwebs.
What do you mean? Oh no. Actually, Bruce, I started putting Pal Talk on here today. So Nana, fuck you. How's that?
I've got it up, but we don't have it connected to a UPRN network like chat room.
We will by next week's show. So it's we're gonna tell y'all where all the people can go and get in the chat room, and you'll even be able to get on the mic and talk to us if you want to. You won't have to just sit in here like
Yeah, and then we'll also, especially when we're some of us when we're admins in the old time when we used it, if you got mouthy, ding.
That's right. It's got a lot of good features. For what we do here, it's got a lot of good features. No, so I mean, Rubio did a really good job. It was really nice to see him get through there. It's I was really surprised. I was really happy to hear
next week or so. Yes.
So, what's his name? Stama said that first off, the EU hasn't been pulling its weight, and not that, but many presidents had told him that we needed to do this, that they needed to start pulling more of their weight. So he said, so does the EU. So the head of EU, who just told, the lady who got back in office, they said she barely got back. Apparently, that's it. Stama did, but anyway, she's saying pretty much that. we need America. They played what's his name, the guy from NATO, saying, "If you think you can do this without the Americans, you're dreaming."
Yeah. Well,
So
was it Mark Rutte?
Yeah. So they played.
He said the same thing. He said, I forget exactly what his speech was, but it was a few weeks ago, and he said, "If you think you can do this without America, you're wrong."
Yeah, well,
you're dead wrong.
So you got that, and then she goes on to talk about Europe does need to be stronger. We don't need to be relying on them.
And we don't need to be spending how much. I mean, think about the budget of the last 50 years of keeping those bases in all of Europe: Germany, Italy, France, Spain, probably Portugal, Sweden, wherever we have bases over there. Count up the millions and billions of dollars over the decades. It's wasted money. All they have done is sat around and spent their money on stupid shit and gone woke.
So now they're pretty much going to have to do this. It's 5% of their GDP to NATO, 5% of their GDP to build the new arms and stuff. And you never know, what a bunch of us building fancy stuff, somebody might come out with something really, 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 really good.
Well, but so here's another scenario which I don't think even Trump has thought of, because he's a brilliant construction ear. He's not a destruction ear. I guess it's in the name. Thank you, Sean. We have a lot of really, really good, serviceable old weapon systems that we can sell at cost or lend lease, like as in World War II, to our allies in Europe. So they wouldn't have to necessarily go into weapons development and manufacturing. All they got to do is go into body troops. Get the bodies together, get them trained, get them.
But you're missing the point. They want them to do that, because if EU and all its little countries are doing it, and Britain is doing it, and the United States is doing it, and other allies are doing it, that means China's not just competing with the United States; it's competing with everybody.
Yeah, but
that's impossible.
But think of it on another strategic scale. Then, all right. So let's say we do that. We go your way. Every country in Europe develops their own weapon systems, their own, ballistics, what have you, the different styles of calibers of weapons they're going to use as standards for their armies. Then someone declares a world war. Boom. We got 50 countries that are allied together against another 50 countries that are allied together. We don't have weapons that work together. That's stupid. If we all share certain platforms and calibers,
but you're missing the point. NATO is NATO. That's not going anywhere, and everything in NATO is standardized.
But no, it's not. NATO uses 5.56 NATO. We use 2.23.
No, actually, when we're in Europe, we use 5.55 after 5.56. So
5.56 NATO is
so that's what we use when we're Europe, and because there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of it. So the thing of it is, so the tanks we're going to be using they're going to be Averys. That's whose tanks are going to be out there. We might see some German tanks, some Tigers. So, but both those tanks are operational. We know how they work. The fighter jets are going to be F-35s, F-22s, the Eurofighter. All this is standardized equipment. What they want the Europeans to do is to start building new stealth systems. China. So we're going to be building ours.
Different, but I think at the base level, we should all use the same standard platforms, the same calibers, the same.
No, because then all China has to do is defeat one platform. So right now, if you want to come into our country, you're going to have to go through 6 different platform systems. Well, Europe's going to have the ones, but they're going to work differently. They have different radars, different styles, different things. That means China has to develop weapons for that one as well. And then they got to develop for the one in Germany, which is also going to work based on a different radar, different frequencies, different designs. By doing that, it's what we did to Russia. And us and our allies did it to Russia, and this is what we want to do to China. We want to bankrupt them. They have to compete.
Think about some of the problems that we had in World War I. World War II rather. Some of those problems were running out of ammunition, and some of the ammunition didn't go from one gun to another. That's sort of the problem I'm trying to figure out how we can alleviate. If we all use the same caliber of bullets, we may not use the same brand of firearm or rifle, but in the crux of a big firefight, and we're fighting with some of our buddies from France, and we run out of ammo, and they've got a surplus. They can go, oh hey, here, boom, and throw us some magazines.
See, here's the way I look at it, guys.
They may use a different style of gun, but we have the same bullets. We can take the bullets out of their magazine and put them into our magazine. So
no,
at
if
least
that
we have.
ever happens, Jane, here's the way I look at it. Okay. Say like all 50 of us get on, and then all of a sudden France is up ahead and they start launching. They run out of shit. Then you bring in Finland. Then you bring in, you know what I mean? It's just like they just use their own different types of
and that will make it impossible for China to defend themselves, because each country will have a different defense system, and China will have had to develop a different attack defense system for each country. That's impossible for them to develop. It's just impossible for them to develop.
It's a good idea.
And but it's not going to matter, because there's always going to be 3 standardized systems, no matter what. You're going to have a NATO rifle, you're going to have a United States rifle, and you're going to have an EU rifle. Those are all going to use certain types of bullets, or bullets that are close to each other. Anyway, it goes. Those
The EU rifle, I think that what they're using is the Fabrique Nationale 5.7/28 by whatever millimeter, 5.7 by 28 millimeter.
The NATO guy said he wants them all within 1 millimeter so that the bullets can be swapped between guns. He's already said that. That's on its way. That's a done deal. So it's like a 380 and a 9mm. You can actually shoot a 380 out of a 9mm. I don't suggest
and 38.
Yeah, and a 38. So
it's bad for the barrel.
That's probably almost no difference. Yeah, a 380 is a smaller gun, but there's not really all that much difference between the bullets, just more grains. But anyway, it doesn't matter, because they're going to do things like that. The tanks are going to be fairly standardized now, but you will have countries that will have these wild, crazy designs that no one's ever seen before, to do crazy shit. I know Italy's working on I call it a lightning tank, but you remember Godzilla, the movie Godzilla? They had these tanks with these big things on top, and they were shooting that's what these things are. Yeah, that's what these damn things are. And
no way.
They showed them melting steel and tank. They had a German. They first had an old Panzer out there, and they hit it. It was like nothing. It was like, and then they showed one of the new German Tigers in less than 7 minutes. It was slag. I was like, now what kind of power it's pulling, where it's getting its power from, I have no idea, but it was badass. And when I seen it, I'm thinking, oh my God, it's from Godzilla. I'm assuming a plasma something. I was like, when I seen it, just cracked me, because that's the first thing I thought was Godzilla.
This brought up the question right now. With all the shit out there in the world that we do not know, do you think Godzilla actually exists? Could it exist today?
In the mythological sense, no. Is there a creature like him that exists perhaps on another planet? Yes, but he doesn't breathe fire or radioactive.
No. The real Godzilla breathes laser breath, but he's living on planet Zero now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's not.
Hey Joe, Jay, why'd you bring up the clock for?
Oh, we were talking about weapons and stuff.
85.
I know that's your league, dude. That's in you. You know what? I sit back and I listen to you, and I listen to Joe talk stuff.
Yeah, I might be offended with this stuff word, man. Oh,
it's just amazing, because when you were rattling off the type of bullet the certain gun type you use, and you said 5.78, whatever the fuck you called it, I was like, I'm impressed. That's why I call them. What the fuck are they? And when you start talking that stuff, I say, what the fuck are they?
Well, generally, when you're describing that, they're talking about the head of the bullet, but you got to be careful, because sometimes they're talking about the weight of it.
5.56 NATO is the name of the round, and what it basically is it's the round fired through the NATO M16 rifles, and so basically what it is it's a .556 half-inch diameter bullet on a 30-06 neck down casing, and shot through the carbine KR-50, the CAR-15.
It's not really big bullet.
Now now on the M16 side of it, what the 223 round is, what that is a .223 is it's a 0.223 of an inch, so it's a quarter of an inch bullet. The bullet's half the size of the NATO round, but it's on the same platform and it's shot out of a neck down 30-06 casing. So you have a 22 caliber bullet in the M16, especially the CAR 15 civilian version. So you have a 22 caliber bullet that's on a lot of gunpowder, and then you have basically a 50 caliber bullet in the NATO round that's sitting on top of a lot of gunpowder. They're very loud, very fast, and very, very deadly machines.
And you win a cigar, Jay. You win a cigar.
Thank you.
When I see you, I'm getting you a cigar. Hey, we're due for a break, Joe.
The reason those guns were developed is because the old guns, like the M14 and some of the newer older ones, and that, like the M1s had a tendency for the bullets to tumble, which would just rip through the body and cause massive damage. These bullets don't. These bitches just go right through.
Yeah, like straight through things.
Yeah, they don't take no meat with them, hardly nothing. It's insane.
Unless it's a hollow point weapon or a hollow point bullet, it's designed to frange on contact. Like M16 ball ammo will go through 3, 4, 5 people before it stops.
If I ever buy a gun, I'm going down where you live, Jay, and we're going to buy me one.
Oh, good. I definitely want to do that. Yes.
This is 20.
There's 20. I think it's even less than 20 miles. It's like exit 20. Really, is what it is. It's Scotland, Pennsylvania. Right up from me is a Sportsman's Warehouse.
I know where Scotland is.
Okay, yeah, they got a Sportsman's Warehouse right off the highway, man. I love that place.
I know exactly where Scotland, PA is at. I traveled through to get to Gettysburg.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we got to play this to see what they're saying. What is it? CBS. Oh, let's see how CBS is going to hate on Rubio and Munich. You know, it's funny that President Trump didn't send JD Vance. He sent Rubio. Yeah. JD Vance is the VP. He's number 2.
He may be busy doing something else, like getting ready to invade Iran.
This was serious. It kind of bothers me a little bit because this is something you would give to the guy you want to be.
I'll tell you what I think's going on with JD Vance, man. Someone came out and said that he had a love child with Erica Kirk. Okay, and I think that kind of like Trump said, you better back off a little bit, Mr. JD Vance, and get your shit settled before you continue doing your duties.
So maybe he was assassinated. JD Vance had him assassinated so he could, take his best friend's wife. I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Trump would have had them both taken out if that was the case. Yeah. He just said, "Nah, to hell with this. We're not going to have this going on."
Too much controversy.
So let me put this small clip in first. So which one did it? Where did it go? Is that the long one? Or is that the short one? No, that's the long one. That's 22 minutes. Okay, this is the one that's a minute 58. So this is going to be CBS talking about Rubio's delivery. I got to say, I listened to the first 10 minutes, man. Rubio was moving. He knows how to give a speech. He made Obama look sloppy. I was like, damn, Rubio, I'm impressed, man. I'm not impressed easily. Let's see. Rubio, is this it? Yeah, this is it. So we're going to put this on. And then we need. Oh, wait, let me find this. Come on. Don't be stupid, computer. Computer. This thing listens like somebody else I know. I said, Jay, no, I'm serious. This thing is hard-headed. It's an evil computer. No, I'm imitating Scotty from Star Trek 4.
Star Trek 4, yeah. Just use the mouse. Oh, how quaint.
Yes, that's it.
Then he grabs the mouse. He's like, hello, computer. Try the keyboard.
Can't help you, never. Dog, that ain't my fault. But anyway, let me put this on right quick. So let me jump back over here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what this crazy woman has to say.
Today, a charm offensive of sorts by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Yeah. He spoke to European leaders attending the annual Munich Security Conference. CBS's Olivia Gazas is there for us tonight with more on that. Olivia.
Derica, Secretary of State Marco Rubio took a notably softer tone than the combative address delivered here by Vice President J.D. Vance last year. But the message from the U.S. to Europe remains one of tough love.
For us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe.
Rubio offering Europe warm words for the past, but a warning for the future.
We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength.
European leaders signaling they've gotten the message, touting a boom in defense spending and raising the possibility of a joint European nuclear deterrent.
I believe that Europe is inherently strong and can be made even stronger yet.
Well, why isn't he wearing
Britain
sunglasses?
also flexing its muscles. Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced it would send its largest warship to the Atlantic, a new push to defend the Arctic and push back against President Trump's destabilizing bid for Greenland.
As I see it, Europe is a sleeping giant. Our economies dwarf Russia's more than 10 times over.
Also speaking today, Ukrainian President Zelensky, he warned the war with Russia is far from over, saying nearly every power station in Ukraine has been hit, adding to civilian suffering this harsh winter.
During this war, weapons evolve faster than political decisions meant to stop them.
And European allies revealed today that Russian dissident Alexei Navalny was poisoned by a rare toxin while jailed in Russia. Jerica News first emerged during this same conference 2 years ago.
Olivia Gazis in Munich, Germany. Thank you.
This destroys your prostate. This destroys your prostate. This destroys your prostate. Ugh.
If you have a swollen prostate and
Ouch, I
can't
gotta
sleep
what?
at night because
What
of
the hell
those
is
frequent
coming from?
pee urges, try doing this tonight.
What kind of products are you
Dr.
buying,
Kyle
Joe?
Stevenson.
Hopefully I killed that, man. Lord have mercy. That was noisy as fuck. Okay, what have we got here? What am I getting ready to put on? Let's see. No, we got some Mardi Gras music. Come on. Yeah, Jack. No, so you see how that was a CBS clip, how they took it out of context, right? So if you listen to the one we played at the beginning of the show, where he's actually talking and the head of the EU is actually talking, it's a much softer tone than what you get from what she's saying. Yeah. And the U.S. wants strong allies. We don't want to have to tote nobody's way. Look, people gotta understand how we look at this. If you go from World War II to today, and all the money we spent in Europe, with all the bases we have there, all the money we spent in World War II, if you compound that with interest, it's about $140 trillion. If you do it just in cash, it's at least $80 trillion. So that would pay off all of our deficit, give everybody in America $5 million, and still put $20 trillion in the bank.
Nice. Well, why can't we do that? How do we get that going?
Yeah. So, but Europe don't hear that. No, that's because, they know they've been abusing the system for a while. And I got to give them credit. They admitted to it today. So I was, you're going to admit to it. I'm fine with that.
They admitted their wrongdoing?
Yes, they admitted it, which was a bit on the shocking side.
Yeah, that's shocking.
I was like, wow. And Starmer said that several American presidents have said this, and we just haven't been listening. And then the EU basically said, yeah, all this is going to be done and more. So they are listening. Yeah, Jack. So we're going to go to break right quick, and we will be back. Well, partially on break already, but here you go.
Hold post.
Wow. Sorry.
Get your ticket in your hand. Play solo.
Praise
After
the Lord.
work,
Hey, let's blow some
at your
shit
own
up.
pace. No stress.
See, this
World of
is
Warships is naval combat without pressure.
really.
You command
The game
legendary
has not been
warships
pressure. What
and
kind of
battle
bullshit game is that?
AI-controlled enemies.
Hey, where's Skip?
No rankings, no toxicity. Just
What?
you, your ship, and the calm of the open sea.
What
World of
is this?
Warships, a game
This is
made for
queer
adults.
World of Warship. Okay, now I got it. Oh, this sounds dangerous.
If you're gonna live in our country, you need to learn how to be one of us.
Uh-oh.
Not change who we are. This is our country, you don't get to decide who gets a voice and who's gotta hide. Not your outrage machine, not your moral police, not your say it my way just to buy some peace. We stand when it matters, we don't fold, we don't flinch. Got roots in the dirt and the fire in the ribs. Raise it up, lock it in, let the whole
Lip syncing is off quite a bit.
country, this is home to me. I've seen good people bite their tongue till it bleeds. Being woke has turned into a public disease. One bad clip, one screenshot, and you're done. They want your job, your name, your life for fun. Meanwhile, the bills keep climbing, the tank stays low, but the busy picking fights over a word you wrote. I'm not your puppet, I'm not your trend. I'm not apologizing because I won't bend. And then they shot Charlie, and they celebrate. Then they have the audacity to accuse us of hate. This is our country, and we're taking it back. Disagree or feel my fist in your face. Man, I won't trade my voice for a quiet life. People coming here making their cousins their wife. Bitch, there's a problem with your brain. People are afraid to call out the insane. Men wanted me to call them a woman. You need to be locked in a mental asylum. I'm done playing around so you can feel tall. Try to shut me up and I'll build a bigger wall. This is our country, you don't get to decide who gets a voice and who's gotta hide. Not your outrage machine, not your moral police, not your say it my way just to buy some peace. We stand when it matters, we don't fold, we don't flinch. Got roots in the dirt and the fire in the ribs. Raise it up, lock it in, let the whole world see. This is our country, this is home to me. Look, they sell fear for clicks and call it being kind. Act like disagreement is a hate crime. One crowd gets a megaphone, one crowd gets a mute, one crowd gets excuses, one crowd gets the boot. They want a soft nation, fragile spine, where you whisper your truth and you die inside. Now, from sweat and grit, from Callie's hands, from flags on porches and worn out plans, from folks who don't quit when the lights go out. We don't need permission to speak up loud. Say sit down, I rise, say hush, I shout. You can't cancel a heart that won't black out. I won't kneel to a mob with a brand new Bible. I won't trade my backbone just to seem more likable. We're more than your labels, more than your fight. We're the ones still building when you're chasing the light. This is our country, you don't get to decide who gets a voice and who's gotta hide. Not your outrage machine, not your moral police, not your say it my way just to buy some peace. This is our country. This is our country. This is our country. This is our country. This is home to me, 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 home to me. This is home to me, home to me, home to me, home to me. This is home to me. You can call us what you want. We're still here, and we're done being quiet.
Interesting.
I think somebody said they're done being quiet. It's
yeah, it was an interesting the lyric. I mean the AI singer, her lips weren't really in sync with some of the lyrics.
yeah. I noticed on a video I seen the other day. I was talking to the creator, and it wasn't all AI. It's some of it is, some of it's human.
I was going to say some of it. What I think it is it's human. It's kind of like what they did in the Frank Bakshi Lord of the Rings. It's rotoscope, so it's like live actors on film that they later on painted over with animation, so it looked like a cartoon. I think it's kind of the idea here. The AI is being painted over a video of an actual human singer, but the AI just can't keep up with the singer's fast, rap type singing.
Actually, Jimmy, I'm gonna have to start playing. I can't even think of the name. There's the weird white blonde headed chick from Mississippi who's badass, and then the redheaded one. They hard rockers. But at least you can play their music without getting slapped at. You play anybody else, man. Most of the good rock groups, you play their music. You're like, oh, I can't believe you played my music, man. Oh, you stole that $5 from my billionaire self. Fuck you, asshole. I don't play your music at all. Matter of fact, I ain't listening to that last time we got slapped for their asses. Screw them. And I was a big fan of McDowell. I was there the night they had their breakout night. They were playing as they were opening for Guns N' Roses.
Who was?
Metallica.
Oh, Metallica. I thought it was
you know what? They're a bunch of wussies, man. They have good songs, but
no, they opened up that night. They should have.
They sold out.
They whooped Guns N' Roses' ass. I mean, it was so much better of a group. And I was like, wow, well, this sucks. No, the opener was like, what was his name? Brian Adams or something. Who the fuck that is?
Brian Adams?
I don't know who
with
that is.
Metallica.
No, Brian Adams. It was Brian Adams, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. That was it.
Wow, that's a weird ticket because Brian
it's
Adams
a really weird ticket.
Yeah,
I was at one of the rock shows at the Superdome. Well, I mean, you had 80,000 seats. I'm sorry,
that's like folk rock meets chaotic rock kind of.
But you got 100,000 seats. You got to fill in the city of New Orleans. Not 100,000, about 90,000, but still, you got a lot of seats to fill in that Superdome. It's actually, I never did get to see Led Zeppelin. I had I was 16 at the time, and I had been working with I was in private school, and they had arrangements where you could work at their different things in the dome. And by doing so, you could get backstage passes to different groups while they were in town, and I was going to get to see them. But that's when his son fell out the window. And wherever
that was there at Clapton, dude.
No, one of them. What the hell happened? Somebody died. I thought his son fell out the window, but maybe somebody died. But whatever it wasn't no conference, no concert. Yeah, they canceled the whole thing. Not just them. They didn't just replace them. They just canceled the whole thing. I guess.
Weird segue that you mentioned that. Did you know this is a weird? I don't know why it happens. Maybe someone could look into it. But the band The Who, as far as I understand, as the rumor goes, someone has passed away at every single one of their events.
Well, you know what? You know what else is crazy about? There's another good segue to that too, Jay. Everywhere that Garth Brooks played, somebody died.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, someone got killed, and yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Garth Brooks is someone just in the nearby vicinity. The Who have had a person watching their concert expire at almost every venue.
You mean unalive, man? You got to use unalive.
They've become unalived. They randomly unalived themselves, screaming too loud, and then falling off of the balcony or having a heart attack during the Who show. Yeah, that's weird, man. I mean, can you imagine being like you're the number one band on the planet, and
see that was July 30th,
like serial murderer on top of that.
July 30th, 1977, Superdome, New Orleans, man. Let's see, what did he cancel? He canceled his last 10 U.S. tours following the death of singer Robert Plant's 5-year-old son. Yeah, I knew his kid had died. That's why I was canceled, because I was just...
Yeah, Eric Clapton's kid fell out of the window. I don't know how...
I'm reading to see if it says. I don't think it says in here, but I'm reading it just in case. But I remember it was a serious tragedy.
It may, I think, if I recall, it may.
Yeah, it just says he was stricken. No, it just says it was stricken by an unknown illness, is what it says.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, rockers die a lot and kids die a lot, and we gotta, it's nothing.
Yeah, but not at 5,
You gotta figure out what happens sometimes. It's no, I remember because I felt so sad for him because I mean we were there, we were going to be there, so. Oh yeah, man, it was a nice setup. Superdome was great back then. It was brand spanking new.
Brand new, yeah.
Yeah, man. It sucked. He lost his son. I mean,
But it wasn't just football. It did other sports too, plus the concerts, right?
Well, the dome does a lot of things, so it's weird how it is. So it's so big that you can have multiple events going on at one time. So they'll have like these stereo things where they sell stereo equipment all weekend, and they'll have like furniture on the other side.
Yeah.
They'll have someone giving a lecture in another area, and those are big areas, but it's nothing like the floor space. And but they don't do basketball anymore. Basketball's got its own arena now, right next to the dome.
Wow. Well, yeah, but it's also it's mainly an outdoor studio. They only close the dome when it's weathered, right?
No, dome's always closed. Super dome's
always closed. Okay.
Yeah, it's always closed. So they built they do still play basketball there sometimes, but it's they built an arena right next to it for smaller concerts. I think it's 5,000 or 8,000 people. So it's for smaller venues. So because the dome is huge. And it's a lot of electricity. You got
it's like 90, it's like probably 90,000 seats when there's a game, and probably 120,000 seats for a concert because they open up the field area.
Yeah, because I know at one time it started out at something and it's been growing ever since, but still. College does better than NFL's. Their stadiums are always bigger. LSU's got a huge ass stadium. It's
the stadium at where my brother went to school, University of South Carolina in Columbia, South Carolina. Their football stadium was like twice the size of the Redskins stadium.
Yeah, it's what do you mean? Who was it? Is that what you were asking me? Let's see. I think I picked it up because it said 6 Gun Siren is why I picked it up.
Oh, trying to look for 6 Gun Joe?
Well, no, I just had seen 6 Gun Joe and this happened to be next to it. Trunch Derangement Cinnamon. So she got a song for that too.
Wow, really?
6 Gun Siren. I'm just trying to see if there's any information on here. Patriot Country, 6 Gun Siren, Patriot Country. Jack, I can't really help you. Yeah, it's not giving me a name of anybody or anything. It's giving me woke, fuck the woke, Well, so you got to be careful. 6 Gun Siren. So that's the name of the thing. Is 6 Gun Siren because this one says Trailer Park Queen.
Trailer Park Queen.
Yeah. What's this one? It ain't racist if I hate everyone.
That's what I say.
Somebody's like, fuck you and fuck the woke, man.
Well, people always tell me, you're racist. And I say, no, that's impossible because I hate everyone equally, including you.
You're an equal opportunity hater like me. I tell them all, okay, somebody got to be on camera since I'm off. One of y'all get your ugly asses up there. Oh, well, there ain't one. Remember, I just had a roach. F the woke.
It is a pretty funny AI video as well. Audiences seem to like that one.
Well, I've got to say, I've been liking these AI videos, and I'm liking the fact that we can make some of it. I made a new banner for the author's quill today. I don't know. It looks kind of like the old one. I'm not even trying to make it look like that, but it looks more real. Like the things on the desk are real. It's got one of the pens with one of the feather pens, and it's dripping ink in places. It's got its little ink well and its book sitting right there and stuff. Jack, you mean Arthur's quill? Carmen Bartello. I'd have to get you his email.
Like that
that's it right there. Yeah. So you get the little candle burning back, the 2 little things on the side, the little books in the back.
Pretty cool.
It's I didn't put any names on it yet. But no, actually, Michael, that's generated by we have AI generation built in the StreamYard now for banners and stuff. So you can actually make one right before a show.
Like you can make this kind of thing here. That's a new one. I don't know who did that, but that's
I did that one. I put that one in earlier.
That's pretty cool.
It's
and then earlier when I first noticed it, I started making things like this.
Yeah, that was one the other night. It's
robot.
No, yeah.
Take this fella out. He's floating around space, and then he's getting chased by his older brother.
Yeah, getting high.
Use water.
That kind of looks like Sean right there.
Yeah, it is.
It does, don't it? It does.
It does. It got kind of a Shawnese look to it there.
Yeah,
the Shawnese look. I didn't know you were showing these. Oh, wait, Jay, where's all them links I sent you today? Oh, it's too late. We can't play them links now. Never mind. Save them for Friday. Man. Yeah, I sent you some on your messenger. But look, save them for next Friday. It's all Epstein stuff. And there'll probably be some more out. We only got
not on that one you didn't.
I sent them somewhere. They asked to send them to you. I was sending them, forwarding them to Jay.
Not to me. Hey, yeah, they're not here.
You know what I've been seeing too on the Epstein? Everyone was claiming that Michael Jackson was his pedophilia, but he actually was protecting the children from going to Epstein's island.
They say that, but there's other cases when they were at his house and stuff. I don't, Michael Jackson's hard to get into because we really don't know what was going on. And a couple of them kids came forward that was there, but then a couple of kids who he knew said nothing ever happened. So, well, Michael, you can't tell if it might have been for money or something. That's the problem today. Trying to somebody makes an outlandish claim against somebody who's wealthy, then you always have to think, is this just to get money? Yeah, so it makes it harder.
Well, I mean, it just seems that, and I forget where we talked about this the other night. One of the websites we were looking at about the Epstein file said that it was basically what it was that Epstein was some sort of A-level plant or mole used to get into tight spaces with billionaires and then collect bribe material on them for probably some other government force. Because if you notice, although it seems like Michael Jackson was trying to help get children away from the Epstein area, what ultimately killed Michael Jackson? The reputation of him being a pedophile himself. Where did that come from? Probably the left-leaning liberals.
Exactly. Now, look what else is happening, too. They reopened the Kurt Cobain murder.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's no longer a suicide. It's a murder.
They say he was murdered.
Well, they said he was murdered at the time, but they just didn't.
Yes, they did. Well, she did anyway. The wife did.
Well, she's the one that did it.
Probably.
That's who they said in the beginning. They thought did it was her. She had opportunity and motive. She just basically took his career.
He was so high, there's no way he could have done what he did.
The article I read said that allegedly that people that were involved in the incident forcibly injected him with a lethal dosage of heroin, and while that was incapacitating him, shot him in the head with his own shotgun and then placed it in his hands and then, staged whatever else to the scene and left.
I think the other person was that David Grohl.
Oh, yeah, could be. I don't know.
I don't know. They always said it was his wife because she never seemed to really get upset, and she just took.
Well, I mean, she was a heroin addict at the time too.
That was Courtney Love.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just took his career right over. Didn't even hardly miss any of the tours, and then went right out in the back in the field and singing his songs and stuff. So, and she didn't seem to be all that cracked up, and that's when the cops said, "I really feel that she had something to do with this death." But
and ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is for entertainment purposes only.
Pure speculation.
Yes. Jack, on one of my links, you can get the full speech from Marco Rubio. Yeah, it's on one of my Facebook pages. I think it's on the one where I'm wearing the red shirt and the vest. Yes, Hitler didn't start with camps. He started with make Germany great again. Banning books, targeting press, blaming immigrants, creating enemies from neighbors, defunding the arts, stroking fear and outsiders, and what was that? Demonetizing educators.
That's not actually how it started. How it started was in 1932 when he started taking control of the Nazi Party. They either murdered or nearly beat to within inches of their lives the other political party's leaders. If they did not join Hitler and his thugs, they were beaten or killed. That was the beginning of his dictatorship. And then very, very soon after that, once he was chancellor and before he called himself the Fuhrer and supreme leader, he made it impossible for anyone to get guns and have guns. And then if you already had guns, you were already a criminal because you had to have this, that, and the other thing to have already had the gun. So it was this huge legal spiel thank God we have a constitution that kind of protects our rights for guns. The Germans didn't, so they had to conform. And that's really what started World War II, was he just thugged his way through Europe.
Yeah, the Russians kicked his ass, though, did they not?
No, the Russian winner kicked his ass. Had he attacked Moscow and St. Petersburg, what was his plan? If he attacked those two cities in the summertime and crossed those mountains in the summertime when they were dry and not frozen, might be a different story. Russia would probably have collapsed.
Yes, and then we'd own both of them.
He did. He pulled a classic. I mean, what was the guy? Alexander brought exotic animals up from the steppes of Africa to walk over the mountains. He brought animals from the flatlands of the hottest place on earth to walk over mountains in part of the coldest place on earth. It's exactly what Hitler did, and he lost.
Frank, actually, so what they should have done is they had Russia, Germany, and Japan. So they should have left the United States away, took their coalition and took Europe, including the British Isles. They should have just took it. Then came after the United States. We still wouldn't have been building our military. They would have had a significant advantage in arms. They would have probably got in the country a little ways before we actually bucked. They weren't going to take us. Yeah, they weren't going to take us because we were just going to get insanely pissed, and we'll start bringing all the stuff from the interior in the country outward. So most people don't realize, but in the United States, we keep a lot of stuff in the interior of our country because it's not easy to get to. You can't get to it by ground because you'll get killed long before you get there. And trying to get to it by air is suicidal within.
There's too much air to get to it. Yeah.
So that's why they do that. So that stuff would all been start being moved forward. They would eventually push them out of New York and places like that, and they would have got pushed out. And then we would have went on a building spree like we did, and then we'd have went after them. We'd have started freeing our allies one at a time. We'd have probably freed the Brits, got them working with us, and then we'd have started freeing parts of Europe. And then we'd have started putting the pressure on Germany and Japan. Remember, think of this, ladies and gentlemen. This is World War II. Worst war in the history of the entire world. And we were fighting a war on two fronts, not one. Everybody else was fighting a war on one front. We were fighting a war on two fronts. There was the European War, which we were there fighting, and then there was the Japanese War in the
Pacific Theater and the European Theater.
Yes. So we were not just fighting one war. We were fighting two wars, and we were still kicking ass, even though the Japanese did put a hurt on us, much more so than anybody else did.
Well, the Japanese, their hurting on us was the Pearl Harbor thing, but the fact is that the main focus of that attack was the carriers Hornet, Enterprise. What was the other one that was down there?
I don't know. There was supposed to be four carriers in port.
The Force, was it the Force stuff?
I don't know. All I remember is it was supposed to be four carriers in Honolulu, and there was none. They were
well, you know what, Joe? One was coming in.
We were
when
at
the
sea
attack
on
started, and they turned it around and went out.
Yeah. None of them were actually in the harbor because we didn't lose any carriers. If they would have been in the harbor, we'd have lost one. But we lost some big ass destroyers, and we lost battleships.
Destroyers, tenders.
You could hear people. One of the things that sent the country into a fury is you could hear people tapping on the steel for up to a week after that in the water because they couldn't get out. There was no way to get to them. No, these were big ships. So you couldn't just go cutting holes in them and stuff. And no, it sucked. We lost a lot of people, and it pissed us off severely, and it made us angry. So we decided we would go kill people.
It absolutely gentrified the entire country.
But we had troops in all over Europe. We had troops in all over in the different islands. No, we weren't just fighting ships. We were fighting island by island, rooting out to Japanese.
Yeah, we were island hopping in the Pacific, and then we were country hopping in Europe. But we were having to step it up and start manufacturing all of our own equipment, like lickety split. So we had toy companies like Hasbro and Mattel and other companies that made toys and board games were now making stamped out 45 one-shot caliber pistols to drop, airdrop over occupied areas of Germany.
Well, they used to drop. Oh, they used to airdrop stuff.
Is that where the M16 came from? Was Mattel?
No,
F-16
no.
was later.
M16 is machine pistol. Actually, it was. I can't remember the exact. Remember the first letters of it, but the very first one was made the guard, the front guard, and the pistol grip and the shoulder stock were made with Bakelite, which was a material that you, as the name implies, you bake it under like a kiln to harden it, and it was the precursor to plastic, but it shatters extremely easily.
Yeah.
So you hit it with a hammer or a bullet, or
They
you
used
shoot
to
it.
use them for like covering your phone things on your walls in your house. And
Telephones were made out of Bakelite. Public payphones were Bakelite. Toasters were made out of Bakelite. You name it.
No, Jeffrey, down here. No, but you mean cell phones? I mean telephones, and they were all made out of steel because it was too easy to bust them up otherwise. And even the ones made out of steel, you'd see people try to rip out the coin box on them. Well, when I started using cell phone, it was a nickel. It was a nickel. When I quit using it, it was a quarter.
I went to school in Connecticut where everyone else in the country was at 25 cents for a payphone phone call. Connecticut stayed exclusively at 10 cents a call.
America's been thinking about bringing the payphones back, but not as payphones, as just putting them every so often. Put a payphone. I put a phone up because in case you don't have a phone, like someone steals your cell phone or something, you'll have a way to call somebody. What do you think, Jimmy? I don't know.
Free payphones? I don't know. That sounds like Zoran Mamdani kind of nonsense.
Well, I mean, they're not. I mean, they should call them free emergency phones, is what they should call them. Because really, nobody's going to really use them if you got a cell phone, unless you just don't have a phone at all.
You watch. You put that stuff up. People in New York City are going to use them all the time.
Hey, Mom, I'm on phone. I'm calling you on.
It's wrong, man. I'm at 25th and 3rd. Yeah, come on down.
What's that song Drake sings? I'm calling you on my cell phone. I'm calling you on my pay phone.
I don't know the Drake song. But you can see the irony there. Yeah, come on down. I'm on 25th and 6th. Yeah, it's really cool down here.
It's I don't know. It was really nice to see Rubio go to Europe, though. I mean, it was a really passionate speech he gave. I'm gonna listen to the whole thing in a little while, and I caught like I said, the first 15 or so minutes of it. They did say he was a little harder in the second half, but he wants the Europeans to know we love them. We still think they're our allies, even though Trump scared the shit out of them. But we also wanted to know that we're not putting up with this bullshit anymore. You're gonna have to start pulling your fair share. I mean, did they ever decide? Do they even send us money when we have hurricanes and ice storms and shit? Like, no, they fucking do not.
Not really.
We have a disaster. We don't even hear nothing. We take care. If somebody else has, no, send us some money, America. Please give us some money. Fuck you. Send us some money. Look, I lived through several major storms. I lost a couple $100,000 in Katrina. Send me some money. Yeah, send me about 500 G's. I'll be smiley. I'll be smiley, Joe. I'll be like, yeah, be all happy and stuff. I'll even make Dooms JJ smile. Yeah.
Well, Joe, weren't you telling me earlier that Jay got probed last night from a sexy alien lady?
No, I think it was from just an evil probing stick, but I don't know.
Oh, by the way, Jay, how is your baby alien doing?
He disappeared. You don't know where he's run off to. I'll have to go and try to track him down. He used to be right there.
He's been. That's what I'm thinking. The dog ate him alive.
Either one of the cats knocked him on the back of the computer desk, or Diane took him somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to find him. I hadn't thought about it in a while.
Oh, Diane's
look in your backyard, dude.
Oh yeah.
No. The old lady got him, and she's gonna sell him into alien slavery.
Yeah, right now my backyard is covered in mud and snow.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Oh, it was a heat wave today, guys. 49 degrees.
Yes,
it was 74 here.
We had to run the dog through the shower because he came in from outside completely covered head to toe in mud.
Yeah. I think about you every day. When I walk outside and it's 74 in February and sunshiny, I'm like, oh, I feel good.
Yeah, and when we come outside and it's -9 degrees, we wish you were here so many times.
No. That's okay. Yes.
I don't think you could handle -9.
Oh, no, I've been in colder. No, I've been in colder than that.
Not this type of cold. It's
different. Yeah, man. You'd be surprised what I've been into. It's I haven't always lived here. It's what's funny is one of my funnest and weirdest memories I have was I'm leaving DC. I'd just been out the election. As a matter of fact, I'd met Edgar Mitchell and Buzz Aldrin that weekend. And also the guy that used to drop bombs all over in World War II. He was an interesting character. But anyway, so I'm driving back, and I got a friend that lives in West Virginia, so we're going to go drop her off. So we're cruising along. I'm doing about 85. I started seeing these little white flakes going. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Some pollen or something. Because I mean, it's like mid-April. I'm like, what the fuck? So I look over to the right side. I see these rigs going by me, and I'm doing 85. I'm like, fuck, look, these guys are cruising. So I look on the other side of the rig, and I start seeing a little snow on the ground. I'm like, uh-oh. I said, well, these fuckers ain't slowing down. I ain't slowing down. We drove like that all the way deep into West Virginia to where my friend lived. And I had to go up this weird-ass mountain road to get her back to her house. It was -14 that day. No, it was some freak storm came out of nowhere. They were talking about it for weeks. Because when we had read it was supposed to be cold, like 18, 15, something like that, wind chill around 0. But this was way worse than they thought it was. And it was in a rental car, no less. Wasn't even one of my own vehicles. But we got there, and when I pulled in her driveway, the snow was up to about the windshield of the car. So I rolled it back and forth a couple times so she could get out and get into her house, get in there. And then we left there and went and got in a hotel because the further we got down the road, the deeper the snow got. But it really wasn't snowing on the interstate anymore. I almost kept driving. And, when you got hot cars on the highway, it melts pretty fast. I just don't want to get into any ice. I said, we'll sleep and we'll leave tomorrow at lunchtime. And then very next day, we're cruising along. We're leaving West Virginia. You get some tunnels, right? And we're headed south. That's where we're headed. We're headed home. We're headed south. We're cruising along, ooh, 80 miles an hour, ooh. And I looked over at Jesus. That looks like where we got off to get some to eat a little while ago, right? She said, it does. So we looked again next day. I said, no, what's going on? We were going the wrong way.
Oh, shit.
After we went through the tunnel, we were going the wrong way. So we were on the right side of the road, going the right way when we were going.
Wait, how do you get turned around inside of a tunnel?
That's what I'd like to know. It's very weird. That's weird. And there was 5 of us in the car. It wasn't like I was the only one experiencing it. It was very, very strange. We did a little hypnosis, and there was felt like missing time, but really couldn't seem to get anything out of it. Everybody was too scared to let loose because
I agree with you, Kevin.
It couldn't have been alien. It had to be military. Oh, Jack, I would imagine all they did is had some cones out, pulled us into some side thing, and there's probably a road inside the middle of the tunnel, and they just brought us wherever they wanted to.
Sorry, you have a lot of tunnels in Pennsylvania, man. Seriously.
There's a lot of tunnels everywhere. Louisiana does a lot, but a lot of bridges here too, man. There's fucking bridges everywhere.
Oh no, not like Pittsburgh, dude. We're the city that has the most bridges in the United States.
Y'all must be on crack, man.
We are.
I live on a fucking island. I live in a city that's a fucking island. What are you talking about? You can't even get in the city without going over a fucking
Let's find out. Hey Google, what city in America has the most bridges?
Probably fucking Seattle. I'm sorry.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wait, I want to hear that again. I don't believe that shit. Oh, what city? I was talking about what state. Ask her what state has the most.
Hey Google, what state has the most bridges?
I keep thinking about Washington about something. Anyway.
The highest total number of bridges is Texas, which has over 53,000 bridges.
That makes sense because they're right next to us. I mean, literally, when you're driving in Louisiana, think of it this way. when you're on interstate driving in Louisiana, you're on a fucking bridge. It's not on land. So starting from 200 miles outside of where I live right now, from there to here is water. It's a bridge.
That's scary. That would be so scary, man.
It's with cutoffs. And then you've got the Causeway Bridge, which goes over the Lake Pontchartrain. It's the longest continuous bridge. It's 25 miles or 24.5 miles, whatever it is. A lot of times they say 26, but no, it goes back and forth for some reason. But it's just everywhere you go. And then going from here to like home or Baton Rouge, most of that's a bridge too. And several bridges you're going to cross while you're going. It's crazy. But I mean, it's a lot of swamp, a lot of marsh, stuff like that. You know, and then where I live right now, there's no way to get to where I used to live without crossing a bridge. I could drive 100 miles north and still have to fucking cross a bridge. I mean, it's ridiculous when people come down, because it freaks people out, because we don't have normal bridges. We got bridges that do this number.
That's creepy.
It's you know, there's well, and then we got the Mississippi River. You know asking how many bridges there are on the Mississippi River. I'm just curious. 5, 10, 20.
Hey Google, how many bridges are on the Mississippi River?
There are more than 140 bridges that currently span the Mississippi River.
140 plus.
This count includes bridges for vehicle traffic, like arch and cable stayed styles, as well as railway bridges.
Okay, Google, stop. Yeah.
Too much.
So railway bridges and regular car traffic. That's a good number.
Oh yeah, so there's a bridge in Metairie. There's a couple of these bridges still around Louisiana. So let's say you're like in a van and someone's like in a U-Haul truck. There's no way to get past them without smacking mirrors. That's how close you are to them. You'll smack mirrors every time. I always pull the mirrors in when I'm crossing that bridge all the way up against the side of the truck, and even then, it's close. It's easy to fuck up. You gotta. It's got a little bit on this big. Plus, the bridge is way to fuck up in the air over the Mississippi River. So you know if you hit the ground, you did. You know if you hit the river, you're gonna drown.
Yeah,
it's scary, man. There's okay. I guess you could call them water cities. A lot of cities. Like, well, I guess Pittsburgh's one of them, but some of the other ones in other states that just waters all around them. It's just
yeah. Pittsburgh does. Three Rivers.
Yeah, Three River Stadium.
Little girly ass water. That ain't real water. Jeez, man, it's girly water.
I'd like to see you go down some of them rapids. I did it. I
went down little girly. I want to see Red. I want to see you ride one of these 30-foot waves out here when it's coming on shore, man. It's a little girly water, man. And actually, we used to go rapping.
About a month ago, we had all that snow.
No, that ought to be fun.
Piled up against our parkway, and this girl, man, she some reason went over the guardrail and into the freaking Allegheny River, I think, and she drowned.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, when that snow melts in a few weeks here, it's gonna make the rapids up there really bad.
It's going to flood Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All the ice on there. Shit.
Jackie, we got so for us, so we got these real big, deep rivers that a lot of water don't make that much difference. It moves them faster, but they're just solid. They're so deep that there's not a bunch of wakes in them except what the ships make. But we have all these little rivers that are crazy. So they'll be like a foot deep. And then it rains, and then they're 16 foot deep.
And they're 60 feet deep, yeah.
Yeah, fucking trees flying all over, shit going on, cars going through. I mean, pieces of bridge. It's fucking insane. It's just the way Mother Nature works. Well, no, we have a lot of artesian rivers down here too, so you can actually drink out the river. Yeah, you can actually sit there and get a cup of water and go. Yeah, it's
they have those. Me. They have streams like that in Pennsylvania. It's so clear, so clear. You go up north in Pennsylvania, up around Kittanning, up around that area. That water's so clear. I mean, you could see the fish on the bottom of at the bottom of the river.
That's most of the water around. Not all of it, most of it. But see, we have an artesian lake underneath the big lake. So Lake Pontchartrain is huge, but they have a big ass artesian lake under it, about 3 times its size, and it's quite deep. So it's weird. So say something crashes in the lake or something sinks. If it sits there long enough, eventually it'll work its way through the layer and get into the lake below it.
Hey, brother, we got about 8 minutes left, man.
Well, 8. You want 8 women? What? Whoa, calm down there, Papa.
No, he said 8 minutes. 8 men. 8 men.
8 men. Well, I don't hear it.
Yeah, 8
Yeah, I don't
men.
need some things I don't want to know about.
What did he say?
If you want to dress up like a Mennonite, that's your thing. Yeah, I don't need to know about things like that.
As hell. I am so sleepy.
So you're gonna dress up like a Mennonite? That's not an excuse, man. God.
Hey, some of the Mennonite women.
Sean
are
is
hot.
a bad. Sean is.
Some of them are very cute. Yes, some of them are
The
very
Mennonite women are cute. And I always wonder. I always wonder what the Amish women look like underneath their blue dress.
They look exactly the same as American women, except for they have 3 breasts instead of 2.
Oh.
Yes. Well, but the third breast don't have a nipple; it has an eyeball.
Yeah, it's got an eyeball in the middle of it.
That's where their third eye is.
Oh man, we are going to get slammed by the Amish. Yes, we are.
Oh,
No, they don't listen to us.
If you're gonna slam me, send me some of that really good Amish butter. So
Oh man,
Yeah.
I can advertise for you.
Or some
Hey
fresh
Jay,
hot.
Jay, there's a place up here that sells Amish bakery goods, man, and they have a cherry tart, and with the dough and the tart, it's at least a pound
Oh God,
for a
yeah.
little tart. It is so good.
We got a
Oh
couple
my
shops
God.
here, one in Hagerstown, one in Gaithersburg, where I used to go to work. They have really great food.
Oh my God, yeah.
It'll make you
Oh.
fat.
That's
Who's that?
one
Is that
cool-
little Martha? Martha
That's
Jr.?
one cool thing about Ohio,
No, this
Pennsylvania,
is
and
a big-
Michigan. All the Amish up there.
Yeah.
They're good people, man.
This was made in Costa Mesa, California by Brosco Arms.
Oh.
It's a special edition to silver version for some reason. It's a 380 auto. T380 is what it is. Finding a clip for it is nightmarish because this clip is shot and it's glass.
Don't change the clip. Change the spring. Get a new spring for it.
I was trying to get the spring out of it, they couldn't get it to come out.
There should be a pin on the bottom. The bottom plate slides
These-
forward, and then the pin comes out.
These are exploded. These are explosive hollow tips.
Oh, nice. What
And
brand?
they're illegal. I don't know what brand they are. I have to dig them out to find out.
Is
This
it
gun
Black
weighs.
Talon?
You know this little gun weighs more than Martha does. And Martha's a full size gun.
Well, that thing's all steel.
It is. It's seriously heavy, top heavy.
Are those bullets black-headed?
They're just they're copper.
Okay.
Which is so there's a plastic insert in them, and
Let me see the front of it.
Right through the insert, there's a trigger. Let me see if I can get one out of here.
Maybe the back says Corbon on it. I'll bet you it's Corbon.
Kevin said my cat's ears went up when you said spring.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the tip? Let's see. Ooh, there's not enough
A
light.
Hydroshock.
There's not light in here.
It's a Hydroshock.
No, that ain't what it says on the back. It says something else. But
What's the brand? What does it say on the stand?
Hey, Jay, I just had a thought. Do you remember the movie where the monsters were in the sand? What was that movie called?
They were in the sand. What? I couldn't hear you all the way.
Yeah. What were the name of it? There was a movie that had these big worm-like things in the sand, and they would come up and kill
oh,
people.
what was that?
Dune.
Tremors. What was that?
Tremors.
Tremors and Dune. Yeah.
You remind me of what's her name's husband, who had every
Burt
single
Gummer.
gun in America.
Burt Gummer.
Burt Gummer. Yeah. Okay, we'll call you Burt. All right, Burt.
380 auto.
Damn.
See this. What is this damn bullet, man? This is weird. 380 auto is what it's got on the bottom. It's got the SIG stamp. SIG.
So it's a SIG bullet. Yeah. So it's probably a Hydroshock bullet head.
Let's see. I know you can't get these things anymore. Plus the head itself, the tip is actually razor sharp. And it has
My Big Tony, my 9mm Beretta, it's got black talons in it.
Italians are badass, man.
Black talons.
All
will go
right,
through
Jay, I have a
bulletproof armor.
question to ask you. If I wanted to go buy a gun, what type would you want to give me? Would you recommend?
Depends. Well, it depends on what you're using it for. Are you using it for sports, for hunting, or for self-defense?
Self-defense.
And then I'd have to see how big your hands are. We have to find the right size gun.
Oh, I don't know about how big your hand. Wait, what are you two guys getting into here? Y'all making me nervous now.
Well, when you go to get a gun, you got to get a gun that fits your hand. You can't get something that's too small, and you can't get something that's too big. You got to get something that you can control and shoot accurately without, hurting people nearby.
You never shoot a gun like that. When you see people do that, that means they don't know how to shoot a fucking gun.
Yeah.
It's actually, Jack, most competitions you can't use two hands. You got to use one.
Okay, it's time to go, guys. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're getting ready, guys. I gotta put this thing yet. Pull the trigger real quick. Okay.
Make sure there's no bullets in it.
Why did the trigger go off? I guess I didn't set it all right. That's cool. All right. I don't want to blow up my bottle of Crown behind me. But yeah, I'm gonna take it away with me. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We got about 3 minutes to that pretty guy who comes on after us. What's his pretty boy Sean or something? Is that his name?
Sean Patrick Hazlitt.
Pretty boy. It's pretty boy Sean Patrick Hazlitt.
Pretty boy Floyd.
Yes, it's pretty boy Sean Patrick Hazlitt. Yeah, should check out the show. He's always got a good show. It's a lot of fun to listen to. What do you mean? Where you want to crash at? The Dante's place? No, I don't think so. Martha's in the other room. Yeah, she's taking a nap. She likes.
See you, Kevin. See you tomorrow night, buddy.
You disturb her, things can go wrong quickly. Anyway, no, Martha's never even stared at anybody, much less shot anybody. Yeah,
except on camera.
Now Harold, on the other hand, he might put a few people on the ground, but other than that, that's all military stuff. That's all legal stuff. Harold was a 911 45 automatic.
Well, what's the going rate for a gun?
A decent semi-automatic running you somewhere between $500 and $700. A decent revolver, a little less than that.
Yeah, I picked up the Canic for around $600. It's a target pistol.
My next pistol,
the last Glock I got was $950.
I want to get a Colt Python. They brought them back out. They're expensive, but I mean, you can get into them about $700.
That Colt 1911 cost me was a 16, and then I swapped it out. Well, I got rid of it and got this all-American version, which was like $2,500, but I got it for the same price. And then a friend of mine offered me like $5,000 for it. So I said, okay, so now I don't have a 45 anymore. It's I got to get another one. Well, when I bought the Canic, I thought the Canic was a 45. That's why I was buying it. When he said 31 rounds, I was like, what the fuck kind of clip 40? Because 45s are, they're not a huge bullet, but they're not exactly a little bullet either. No, Jimmy, we're going to get out of here and we're going to go, and I'm going to go eat some pizza and run around the house butt naked. Yes. Just an image y'all should have in y'all's head before y'all go to bed tonight. We got some stuff.
Run to the men's room real quick.
So we're gonna go now, but we got some stuff for next week. We may do an update show because there's so much stuff coming out about who, Voldemort, the Epstein guy, and so we may do an update during the week. But anyway, on that note, we're gonna get out of here.
Good night, everybody.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the chat with Joe and the Jay and the Sean, or actually it's Joe and the Jay and the Jay and the Sean. And we have 2 J's now. Oh, by the way, before we go, remember, we are looking for hosts for this show and for News on the Flip Side. It's News on the Flip Side is more political swinging. So centrist, left to center, right to center, all of those are welcome. We don't need any crazy liberals, and we don't need any crazy conservatives that are way out on the right. We just, it's an even keel show. So we're looking for that. For the chat, you don't necessarily have to be politically up to date, but you should have a wealth of knowledge on a variety of topics, because we do talk about a variety of things. Right? Tonight we crossed 30, 35 topics tonight. So it's a lot to keep up with. But on that note, again, I want to thank you again for tuning in to United Public Radio and the chat like the fat cat. On that note, good night, and stay tuned for Sean Patrick Hazlitt.
Good night, guys.